Jing Xingqian, let go. Lu Jingjing slapped my hand away. The sound was crisp, painfully sharp. I stared at her, then looked at the middle-aged man with his arm wrapped around her waist. Why? I tried to suppress my anger, but my voice was still trembling. 3 years. I scrimped and saved, worked several part-time jobs, and gave almost everything I earned to you. Whatever you wanted, I bought it for you. And now you're telling me you're with him? Lu Jingjing rubbed her wrist, her face full of disgust. Are you done? Jing Xingqian, don't tell me you actually thought we were dating? I froze. What do you mean? I mean, you were just my college classmate. She leaned deeper into that man's arms. The things you gave me, the money you spent on me, it was all voluntary. Did I force you? No, right? She pointed at the man beside her. Take a good look. This is President Su, and he's the person I truly like. Su Tao stuck out his belly and looked down at me arrogantly. Lu Jingjing hooked her arm around his and called out sweetly, "Hubby, let's go." Those 2 words were like a slap across my face. Hubby. I stared at her. Then what am I? You? Lu Jingjing laughed. You're a poor loser with no money, no background, and no job. You've already graduated from university, but you can't even support yourself. And you still want to date. Her words grew uglier and uglier, her face full of mockery. If you hadn't looked decent back then and hadn't been willing to work part-time to spend money on me, do you really think I would have stayed with you for 3 years? My fists clenched instantly. So for the past 3 years, in her eyes, I had only been an ATM. Su Tao suddenly stepped in front of me. Kid, you touched my woman just now. Pay 20,000 and we'll call it even. I looked up at him. And if I don't, then I'll teach you a lesson you won't forget. Come on. I stepped forward and stared straight into his eyes. I've been an orphan since I was a kid. No father, no mother, and no one to back me up. Aren't you so powerful? Come on, hit me. Su Tao's face darkened, and he raised his hand, slapping me twice. Smack, smack. My face burned with pain. Many people around us looked over, but no one said a word. Su Tao rolled his wrist. Remember this. From now on, every time I see you, I'll hit you. I lowered my head and didn't fight back. It wasn't that I didn't want to. It was because I knew very well that right now, I had nothing. If I rushed at them, they would only trample me even harder. Lu Jingjing walked over to my side and lowered her voice. Jing Xingqian, stop pretending to be pitiful. If you can't give me the life I want, then don't blame me for choosing someone else. Stay far away from me from now on. Don't come looking for me again. After saying that, she held on to Su Tao's arm and turned to leave. After taking a few steps, she spoke in a coy voice again. Hubby, I've got that poor loser stink on me now. You have to buy me a new outfit later. I've had my eye on that Fendi set for ages. Su Tao laughed loudly. I'll buy it. As long as you like it. What's 70,000? The 2 of them left shoulder to shoulder. I stood where I was, fingerprints still left on my face. 3 years. I attended classes during the day and worked part-time at night, handing out flyers, delivering food, moving goods, waiting tables. As long as it could make money, I did it. But what I had desperately worked for wasn't a future. It was her saying, what do you even count as? Dark clouds pressed down over the entire city of Luo City. The violent wind slammed into my face. The people on the street walked faster and faster, but I stood in the middle of the road and cursed in the direction they had left. I cursed until my voice was hoarse. I didn't care what others thought. I only wanted to roar out the fire trapped in my chest. Just you wait. What you stepped on today, I'll pay back double sooner or later. Passers-by moved away one after another. Someone pointed at me and whispered. I suddenly raised my head. Just then, a cold voice drilled directly into my mind. Ding! System is generating. I froze. The next second, the voice sounded again. System generation complete. Binding host, Jing Xingqian. Binding successful. Standing in the violent wind, I was completely dumbfounded. System? Had I really run into something like this? Ding! Detected host's bank card balance, 23 yuan. Detected that the host has just suffered betrayal and humiliation. First mission triggered. Mission content. Proceed to the Fendi counter at Luo City Global Shopping Center and spend 300,000 yuan to complete a face-slapping counterattack. The hot blood that had just surged in me almost went out on the spot. 300,000. I only have 23 yuan to my name. What am I supposed to spend? My phone suddenly vibrated. I took it out and looked. Your account ending in 5186 has received 300,000 yuan. I stared hard at that string of numbers. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I laughed. The louder I laughed, the harder I laughed. Lu Jingjing, don't you like money? Just wait. I'll show you right now who the real joke is. With a rumble, the heavy rain came crashing down. Global Shopping Center was only 300 meters away. I took off running into the rain. A few minutes later, soaked from head to toe, I rushed into the mall, only to be stopped by the security guard at the entrance. Sir, please wait. I wiped the rainwater off my face. What? The security guard looked me up and down. This is a shopping center. I know. I pointed at my soaked clothes. My clothes are drenched like this. I'm going in to buy a few new outfits. Is that not allowed? The security guard was stunned for a moment, then immediately stepped aside. Of course, sir. Please come in. I didn't waste any more words and headed straight for the Fendi counter. As soon as I reached the entrance, a saleswoman came up to greet me. Sir, what do you need? Clothes. I tugged at the wet clothes stuck to my body. Bring me a few sets. Preferably something I can change into right away. The saleswoman glanced at what I was wearing. Her smile faded slightly, but she still let me into the store. But just as I stepped inside, I heard a familiar voice. Hubby, does this set look good? My footsteps stopped. What a coincidence. Lu Jingjing saw me too. Her face instantly darkened. Jing Xingqian, didn't I tell you not to follow me? You actually chased me all the way here. I ignored her and went straight to the men's section, flipping through the clothes on the rack. Lu Jingjing chased after me. Why are you pretending not to hear me? I still didn't look at her. Take this one. And these pants too. The saleswoman hesitated. Sir, the clothes here are basically over 10,000 yuan per piece. I know. Then you'd better confirm that you want them before touching them. If they get dirty, you may have to compensate us. My movements paused, and I turned to look at her. She's been shouting since the moment I walked in, and you didn't say a word to stop her. But when I pick out a piece of clothing, you're already worried that I can't afford to pay? The saleswoman's expression stiffened. Sir, I was only reminding you. Lu Jingjing folded her arms and smiled with a face full of sarcasm. She's right to remind you. Do you think I don't know how much money you have in your bank card? 20 or 30 yuan, and you dare touch clothes worth 20 or 30,000? Su Tao walked over, clenching his fists and sneering at me. Kid, did you forget the beating you just took? You still dare follow us here and cause trouble? I didn't even look at him. I took down another jacket and handed it to the saleswoman. Hold it. Lu Jingjing was provoked by my attitude. What are you pretending for? Jing Xingqian, even if someone like you wears designer brands, you're still a useless pauper. I finally turned around. You know me very well? Of course. Then do you know how much money you've spent of mine over the past 3 years? She laughed disdainfully. Around 200,000, right? But so what? Spread over 3 years, that's only a few thousand a month. You actually have the nerve to bring up such a small amount of money? My heart turned completely cold. 200,000. In her eyes, it was only a small amount of money. That was money I had earned bit by bit, sleeping only 4 or 5 hours a day. But now, I was too lazy to argue with her. You're right. I nodded. Then what has this good hubby of yours bought you? Lu Jingjing immediately shook out the clothes in her hands. See this? 70,000. You might not even be willing to buy this for me after working hard for an entire year. But my hubby didn't even blink. I looked at Su Tao. He was over 40, with a wedding ring on his hand. When his phone screen lit up, the wallpaper was still a photo of a family of 3. I laughed. Hurry up and go pay. After you put it on, you can make this sugar daddy of yours happy. Lu Jingjing's expression changed. What did you say? Bad hearing? I pointed at the wedding ring on Su Tao's hand. He has a wife and child, yet he has you calling him hubby outside. His son is probably almost your age, isn't he? The surroundings instantly fell silent. Su Tao's face turned the color of a pig's liver. A string of curses burst from his mouth as he raised his hand and was about to charge at me. I didn't step back. There are cameras everywhere here. If you dare touch me even once, I'll make you pay until you start doubting your life. Su Tao's fist froze in midair. Another saleswoman hurried over to smooth things over. Everyone, please calm down. She turned to look at me. Sir, I'll assist you. I nodded. Fine. Keep bringing styles that suit me. She immediately followed behind me. I picked as I walked. Jackets, shirts, pants, shoes. Soon, there were more than a dozen items piled in her arms. Lu Jingjing was still standing nearby, watching me coldly. Act. Keep acting. I'll stand right here today and see how you pay. I turned and walked toward the cashier. Calculate the total. The cashier scanned the items one by one. Sir, 13 items in total. The total is 219,604 yuan. I took out my bank card. Swipe it. When the cashier saw that ordinary debit card, her gaze changed immediately. Sir, are you sure? I'm sure. If the payment fails, have you swiped it? I directly cut her off. You're already convicting me before even trying? Can't a debit card buy things? The cashier took the card with a dark expression. Fine. I'd like to see. I entered the password. The next second, the machine gave a notification. Payment successful. The receipt slowly printed out. The entire counter instantly fell silent. Lu Jingjing stared at the receipt, the smugness on her face completely frozen. 210,000. That's impossible. Jing Xingchen, where did you get the money? I picked up several pieces of new clothing and walked straight into the fitting room. What does that have to do with you? A few minutes later, I changed into the clothes and walked out. I casually threw my soaked old clothes into a bag. In the mirror, my figure was tall and straight, my features sharp. I was still the same person. But from this moment on, something was different. The saleswoman who had treated me coldly just now immediately put on a smile. Sir, this outfit really suits you. You have such a great figure. I ignored her. I walked straight up to Lu Jingjing. She looked at me, and her eyes had clearly changed. Shock, regret, and a trace of attraction even she herself was unwilling to admit. I moved closer to her and lowered my voice. There's a bag inside that suits your skin tone very well. Go take a look. I glanced at Su Tao and deliberately corrected myself. Have your dad. Sorry, slip of the tongue. Have your hubby buy it for you. Lu Jingjing gritted her teeth, but she still looked toward the handbag section. She knew my taste had always been good. In the past, the gifts I gave her, even if they weren't expensive, were things she liked very much. She immediately grabbed Su Tao. Hubby, let's go take a look. In order to keep up appearances, Su Tao waved his hand grandly. Let's go. Whatever you like, I'll buy it for you. The two of them arrived at the handbag section. Lu Jingjing fell for that bag at first glance. She immediately hugged it in her arms, her eyes shining. Hubby, this is the one. Su Tao glanced at the price tag. The next second, his smile froze on his face. Miss, you have excellent taste. The saleswoman held up the bag and smiled especially warmly. This model is priced at 264,000 yuan. Both the material and design are top tier, and it comes from the same designer as the outfit you just bought. With this bag, your entire outfit will look absolutely stunning. Lu Jingjing's eyes lit up as she listened, and she immediately held the bag in her arms. Hubby, this one. She shook Su Tao's arm, her tone as if it were only natural. It's only a little over 260,000. It's not expensive. Hurry and buy it for me. Standing not far away, I almost laughed out loud. Only 260,000? With that tone, someone who didn't know better would think she had tens of billions herself. But Su Tao's face immediately turned black. What did you say? Lu Jingjing still hadn't realized something was wrong. Holding the bag, she spun in front of the mirror. I said I want this. I already bought the outfit. How am I supposed to wear it without a matching bag? Hubby, didn't you just say it? Whatever I like, you'll buy for me. Su Tao stared at her, his eyes growing colder and colder. I treated you to meals and bought you clothes because you just graduated and didn't have money. You really think I'm your ATM? Lu Jingjing's smile froze. Hubby, isn't it just over 200,000? You're so rich. Shut up. Su Tao suddenly roared. The entire handbag section instantly fell silent. I didn't look at them anymore and continued picking out 2 pairs of shoes. The system required me to spend 300,000. I had just spent over 219,000. Buying 2 more pairs would be just enough to complete the mission. I'll take these 2 pairs too. The way the saleswoman looked at me had completely changed now. Of course, Mr. Jing. I'll check you out right away. I handed over my bank card. Same card. Yes, Mr. Jing. The cashier accepted the card with both hands. Her attitude so respectful, she seemed like a different person. Our service was lacking earlier. Please forgive us. I smiled. So now you know the card can be swiped? Her face turned pale. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. Just as I finished entering the password, a crisp sound suddenly came from the handbag section. Smack. Immediately afterward, Su Tao's furious roar echoed throughout the counter. What do you think you are, daring to ask me for a bag worth over 200,000? I already gave you enough face by buying clothes worth 70 or 80,000 just because I said I would. And you still dare push your luck? Listening to the sound of that slap, I raised an eyebrow slightly. Brutal. Much heavier than the 2 slaps he had given me just now. However, I hadn't forgotten those 2 slaps. Sooner or later, I would personally return them. Payment successful. The receipt printed out. At the same time, the system prompt sounded in my mind. Ding! Host's accumulated spending has reached 300,000 yuan. First face-slapping mission completed. The corners of my mouth lifted. Done. At this moment, Su Tao carried the clothes he had just bought and stormed over to the cashier. Return them. He slammed the shopping bags onto the counter. Process the refund for me immediately. Lu Jingjing covered her face and chased after him. Hubby, no. I don't want that bag anymore. Don't return the clothes, okay? I really know I was wrong. Su Tao turned his head, spewing another string of ugly insults. He pointed at Lu Jingjing, so angry the fat on his face trembled. Don't call me hubby. I have a wife and child at home. I only came out with you because I wanted to have some fun. You really thought you could rise to the top? Why don't you take a look in the mirror? Lu Jingjing's face went deathly pale. She clung tightly to Su Tao's arm, tears coming on command. President Su, I was wrong. I don't want the clothes anymore, and I don't want the bag either. Please don't leave me. I stood nearby, watching quietly. Just over 10 minutes ago, she had been holding this man's arm while calling me trash. And now, she was begging him not to leave. I suddenly found it meaningless. A woman like this wasn't even worth my revenge. She wasn't even worthy of my hatred. I picked up my shopping bags and walked past her. As our shoulders brushed, I said lightly, "How pitiful." Lu Jingjing suddenly raised her head. Jing Xingqian. I didn't stop. She stared at my back, her eyes filled with anger and regret. But what did that have to do with me anymore? After walking out of the Fendi counter, the system's voice sounded again. Ding! Mission reward has been issued. Reward, 20,000 yuan in cash, deposited in real time. My phone then vibrated. 20,000 yuan. Not a cent less. My footsteps paused, and I still asked, System, is this money safe? No one's going to suddenly come investigate me one day, right? Please rest assured, host. All cash, assets, technology, and lottery rewards issued by the system have complete and legal sources. Host may use them without worry. I was finally completely relieved. Reliable. After all this, I was so hungry my stomach felt like it was sticking to my back. I randomly found a restaurant and ordered an entire table of dishes I wouldn't have dared even imagine before. Lobster, steak, seafood platter. Seeing that I was alone, the waiter couldn't help confirming. Sir, do you want all of these? All of them. If I can't finish them, I'll take the leftovers. In the past, I had to carefully calculate even a 20 yuan meal. Now I still had money in my account, and I was wearing designer brands from head to toe. Most importantly, I had the system. I ate heartily, and the grievances in my heart gradually dispersed. After finishing the meal, I had just walked out of the restaurant with my shopping bags when a cry of alarm suddenly came from ahead. Someone fainted. Call security. I looked in the direction of the voice. A middle-aged man had collapsed on the ground, his face pale and his body motionless. A crowd quickly gathered around him, but no one dared step forward. Move aside. I put my shopping bags to the side and squeezed directly into the crowd. A security guard was squatting beside the man, anxiously patting his shoulder. Sir, can you hear me? The man on the ground had no reaction at all. I immediately spoke. Don't crowd around him. Everyone step back. Give him space. I had once worked part-time as a hospital guide and had also attended first aid training. At a time like this, hesitation was the most dangerous thing. I pointed at the security guard. Call emergency services right away. Have someone get the automated external defibrillator from the mall. Okay. The security guard quickly made the call. I checked the middle-aged man's response and breathing. After confirming that the situation was critical, I immediately began chest compressions. Once, twice, 3 times. The surroundings fell completely silent. Everyone was watching me. Sir, hold on. The ambulance will be here soon. I pressed while calling out to him. Time passed second by second. My arms began to ache, but I didn't dare stop. Finally, the middle-aged man's body suddenly trembled, and he began coughing violently. He's awake. He's awake. The crowd instantly breathed a sigh of relief. I stopped too and supported his shoulder. Sir, don't get up yet. Stay still and wait for the paramedics. The middle-aged man looked around in confusion. What happened to me just now? The security guard quickly explained. You suddenly fainted. This young man gave you first aid. The ambulance is already on the way. The middle-aged man caught his breath. I have congenital heart disease. My chest suddenly felt terribly blocked just now, and then I knew nothing. I immediately asked, do you have medicine with you? He touched his pockets and shook his head. I forgot to bring it. I'm getting old. I always forget things. As he spoke, he tried to stand up. I quickly held him down. Don't move. You just regained consciousness. You must not get up suddenly. Wait for the medical staff to arrive. The middle-aged man looked at me with a face full of gratitude. Young man, what's your name? Leave me your contact information. You saved my life today. I must repay you. He reached for his wallet. I pressed his hand back. No need. I just happened to pass by. Anyone else would have helped too. Urgent footsteps were already sounding in the distance. Mall staff were rushing over with emergency equipment. I stood up and picked up my shopping bags. Sir, go to the hospital and get a proper checkup. I'll be going now. Wait. The middle-aged man still wanted to stop me, but I had already turned and left. I hadn't walked far when I heard someone shouting anxiously behind me. Chairman Du. Chairman Du, what happened to you? Two men in suits rushed into the crowd. The security guard immediately explained what had happened. One of them looked in the direction I had left, then hurried toward the surveillance room. As for me, I knew nothing about any of that. I walked to the entrance of the shopping center, and the security guard who had stopped me earlier happened to see me. He froze for several seconds. When I had entered earlier, I had been soaked from head to toe, dressed plainly, and looked as wretched as someone who had only come in to hide from the rain. Now I was wearing Fendi, carrying large and small shopping bags. I looked like a completely different person. Just as I was about to find a car to go back, the system suddenly sounded. Ding! Detected that host took the initiative to save someone. Extra reward triggered. Congratulations, host. You have received a Porsche sports car. Please check and accept it. I froze on the spot. What? A car? The next second, I felt something appear in my pants pocket. I reached in and touched it. A car key. The Porsche logo on the key nearly blinded me. I stared at it, my breathing quickening. System, where's the car? Luo City Global Shopping Center underground parking lot. B3 level. Parking space A008. I gripped the key tightly and immediately rushed toward the elevator. I've had a driver's license for ages. I even drove for someone else for half a year before. Now it's finally my turn to drive my own car. The elevator went straight to B3. As soon as the doors opened, I hummed a tune and walked toward A008. But just as I turned the corner, I heard Lu Jingjing's crying voice again. President Su, I really know I was wrong. Don't leave. I don't want anything anymore. Su Tao shook her off, his mood explosive as he walked and cursed. Get lost. If you keep pestering me, I'll make sure you can't stay in Luo City anymore. Lu Jingjing staggered several steps after being thrown off. Just as she was about to continue chasing him, she suddenly saw me. To be precise, she saw me walking toward the red sports car across from her. Her entire body froze. Jing Xingchen. I pressed the car key. Beep beep. The headlights of the red sports car flashed twice. Lu Jingjing's eyes instantly widened. This car is yours. I didn't answer. Jing Xingchen. She suddenly rushed toward me. You've been lying to me all along, haven't you? You're clearly this rich. Why didn't you tell me? I opened the car door and finally turned back to look at her. Tell you. And then what? So you could keep spending my money and treating me like an idiot? No. She hurriedly shook her head. Xingchen, we were together for 3 years. I love you. Everything I said just now was said in anger. I laughed at her words. 3 years ago, you saw that I looked decent and was willing to spend money on you, so you approached me. 3 years later, you thought I had no value left to use, so you turned around and called someone else hubby. And now that you see I have money and a car, you want to talk feelings with me? I pointed at her. Lu Jingjing, you don't love me. You only love money. Her face turned pale at once. Xingchen, give me another chance. I can explain. No need. I sat in the driver's seat. I'll just consider those 3 years as me being blind. From now on, you and I have nothing to do with each other. The car door closed. The whole world instantly became quiet. I looked at the red sports car in front of me, gently running my palm over the steering wheel. Genuine leather seats. Exquisite interior. Low-slung body. Every detail made my heart race. This was my car. The first car that truly belonged to me. I couldn't hold back. I leaned over the steering wheel and kissed it hard. Baby, from now on, you're my main wife. A car owner passing by looked at me with a strange expression. He looked at the car, then at me, probably suspecting that I had some special fetish. I didn't care at all. I pushed open the door, got out, and circled the sports car once. The red paint shone dazzlingly under the lights. Then I looked at the license plate. Luo A12345. I froze again. Sequential numbers? System, you even arranged such a ruthless license plate for me? I smiled so widely I couldn't close my mouth. Su Tao also saw that license plate, and his expression changed slightly. People like him knew better than anyone that some cars could be bought, but some license plates couldn't be obtained with money alone. Lu Jingjing was completely dumbfounded. I didn't give her another chance to pester me and directly got back into the car. Ignition. The engine let out a low roar. I held the steering wheel, so excited my palms were hot. I have a car too, and it's a Porsche. I stepped on the gas. The sports car shot out of the parking space. In the rearview mirror, Lu Jingjing chased after me for a few steps. But in the end, she could only stop where she was. She watched me leave. This time, the one left behind was her. I drove onto the streets of Luo City. The wind poured in through the window. Everything along the way suddenly looked pleasant. For the first time in more than 20 years, I felt that life could actually be this satisfying. I grew up in an orphanage. No parents, no background, and no one to support me. When I was bullied, I endured it. When I was humiliated, I endured that too. Because I knew no one would stand up for me. Until university, when Lu Jingjing took the initiative to approach me. I thought I had finally met someone willing to stay by my side. In the end, she only treated me as a free ATM. But all of that was in the past now. I gripped the steering wheel tightly and shouted toward the road ahead. Starting today, I won't endure anymore. Whoever steps on me again, I'll make them pay the price. I drove around the city several times. Only when the sky gradually darkened did I return to my rental place. The bright red sports car parked beneath the old residential building looked out of place no matter how you looked at it. I raised my head and looked at the peeling exterior wall, unable to help laughing. Looks like I need to change houses too. After returning to my rental place, I took a shower, hung up my newly bought clothes, and fell asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. I slept until evening. After waking up, for the first time, I ordered a luxurious seafood set without looking at the price. King crab, lobster, abalone. The little table was packed full. As I ate, I called out to the system. System, let's talk. What functions do you have exactly? Replying to host. This system is an all-purpose system. There are many functions. Please close your eyes and sense the control panel in your mind. I immediately did as it said. The next second, a futuristic-looking panel appeared in my mind. At the very center was a huge circular icon. 2 words were written on it. Level. Below it was a string of numbers. 112/20,000. Around the level icon were 8 function keys. Blessing. Lottery. Skills. Check-in. Prediction. Exchange. Curse. Technology. Apart from that, there was also a self-protection function in the lower left corner. But at the moment, except for prediction, all the other functions were gray. I immediately asked, why aren't these buttons lit up? And what do the level and experience points mean? The system quickly answered. When the host spends money, system experience can be accumulated. When experience reaches the upgrade requirement, the system level will increase. Each upgrade provides a chance to unlock new auxiliary functions. The host's current level is level 1. Current experience, 112/20,000. My eyes lit up as I listened. As long as I spent money, I could level up. The higher the level, the more functions. Was this even a system? This was practically my family. Got it. I stared at the only lit button, prediction. Let's try this first. With a thought, I tapped it. The prediction function immediately activated. Ding! Host has used the prediction function. Prediction result generating. I held my breath. A few seconds later, A set of information appeared in the center of the panel. On March 22, 2034, the winning numbers for the National Welfare Lottery Double Color Ball will be 0, 3, 0, 6, 15, 21, 23, 32. Special number 11. The accumulated prize pool for that draw will be 1.14 billion yuan. Please seize the opportunity, host. The lobster leg in my hand dropped onto the table with a smack. How much? 1.14 billion? I suddenly stood up. It can even predict lottery numbers? System, isn't this function a little too outrageous? The system didn't respond to my shock and instead issued another prompt. Ding! The current system version is low. It is recommended that hosts spend money as soon as possible and complete an upgrade. I immediately nodded. Receive. Isn't it just spending money? I'm good at that. That night, I was so excited I tossed and turned. I had a car. I had money. Next, there was also a 1.14 billion prize pool waiting for me. It wasn't until past 3 in the morning that I finally barely fell asleep. At noon the next day, I crawled out of bed, washed up, changed into the Fendi I bought yesterday, picked up the car key. Today's plan was simple. First, go to the lottery shop. Then find a way to spend money and level up the system as soon as possible. But as soon as I went downstairs, I found more than a dozen people gathered around my sports car. My heart suddenly sank. What's going on? Before I even got close, I heard a neighbor say, "Your kid drew all over someone else's car like this. You should really discipline him properly." Immediately afterward, a woman cried out in panic. "Xiaozong, look at what you've done." My eyelid twitched hard. Car. Drew on it. It couldn't be mine, could it? I quickened my steps and squeezed directly into the crowd. The next second, I nearly cracked apart on the spot. My car. The left side door of the Porsche was covered in drawings of flowers, clouds, trees, and a group of crooked little figures. The red paint was almost completely covered. A little boy of 3 or 4 was holding a water-based pen, staring at me blankly. Someone in the crowd shouted, "The car owner's here." The child's mother immediately rushed up to me, her voice trembling with nervousness. "Sir, is this your car?" "It's mine." I pointed at the car door. "I just got it yesterday, and today it's already become a drawing board?" "I'm sorry." The woman hurriedly bowed. "I'm truly sorry. I didn't keep an eye on him just now," and he drew on it with the pen. "We'll compensate you for however much the repairs cost." The men watching sucked in a cold breath. This is a Porsche sports car. It's got to be worth at least several million. Repairing the paint won't be cheap. Another person chimed in. She might not even be able to pay for it after selling her house. When the woman heard the words, selling her house, her face turned pale with fright. That expensive? She grabbed the child. "Xiaozong, come here." Before the child could react, she pressed his shoulders down in front of me. Thud. The child knelt on the ground. "Apologize to uncle." Xiaozong was so frightened that he burst into tears. "Mommy, I was wrong. I'll never draw again." In anger, the woman raised her hand and smacked the child's bottom several times, scolding him nonstop. The child cried even harder. I had indeed been furious at first, but when I saw this scene, most of my anger immediately faded. What could a 3 or 4-year-old child understand? Besides, this woman hadn't run away. She had stayed here the entire time and even offered to compensate me. At least she was willing to take responsibility. I stepped forward and stopped her. "Ma'am, that's enough. Stop hitting him." The woman's eyes were red. "Sir, it was my fault for not watching my child properly. No matter how much we have to pay, we'll find a way. But why are you making the child kneel to me?" I pulled Xiaozong up and patted the dust off his knees. "If you make a mistake, admit it. But you shouldn't kneel at every little thing." The child looked at me while sobbing. "Uncle, I'm sorry. I thought this car was pretty, so I wanted to make it even prettier." I lowered my head and looked at the flowers and plants on the car door, then at the water-based marker in his hand. "What kind of pen are you using? Can it be washed off?" The woman quickly nodded. "A water-based marker. It should wash off. I'll go get water and a towel right now." "Don't rush." I crouched down and looked at Xiaozong. "You like drawing?" The child nodded fearfully. "Yes." "Then where should you draw in the future?" "On paper." "Can you still draw on other people's cars?" "No." He shook his head desperately, tears still hanging on his face. I rubbed his head. "As long as you remember." But the woman was still nervous. "Sir, we'll pay for the car wash and restoration. Please name a price." Just as I was about to speak, Someone beside us suddenly squeezed in, pointed at the car door, and said loudly, "Even water-based markers might not wash off completely. The original paint on a luxury car like this is terrifyingly expensive. I'm afraid this won't be settled today, without several $100,000. Serves you right for drawing recklessly." The woman raised her hand again, scaring Xiaozong so badly that his whole body shrank back. "Do you know how expensive this car is? If we really have to pay several $100,000, what are we supposed to pay with?" Xiaozong didn't dare speak. He only kept crying. The woman turned around and hurriedly apologized to me. "Young man, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. It's my fault for not watching the child. How the car should be repaired and how much we need to pay. You decide. We'll definitely find a way." That was what she said, but her face had already gone pale. I glanced around. Most people living in this old neighborhood were ordinary folks. Make her pay several $100,000? That wasn't compensation. That was forcing someone onto a dead-end road. I asked the system in my mind, "Does this car have insurance?" All assets gifted to the host by the system are equipped with complete and legal documentation. The vehicle has purchased the highest level of insurance. Now I had confidence. Xiaozong, get up. I helped the child up from the ground. "Uncle, I was wrong." He sobbed and apologized to me. I pointed at the car door. "You like drawing. There's nothing wrong with that. But this belongs to someone else. It isn't easy for your parents to raise you. If you draw even one stroke on someone else's car, they might have to pay a lot of money. Do you understand?" Xiaozong nodded desperately. "I understand. Will you draw on someone else's car again?" "No." "Where should you draw?" "On paper," the woman quickly said. "Young man, if you're still angry, just hit him a few times. As long as you don't injure him." I frowned as I listened. "Ma'am, what are you saying? If a child makes a mistake, he should be taught. But can beating him solve the problem? If he doesn't understand what he did wrong, you can beat him today and he'll still do it again tomorrow." The woman nodded repeatedly. "Yes, you're right. But this car..." I looked at the water-based marker in Xiaozong's hand and suddenly had an idea. "Xiaozong, you scribbled all over my car. I have to punish you." The child was so frightened that he hid behind his mother. "How will you punish me?" "Give me the marker." He hesitated for a moment, then handed the marker to me. I crouched in front of him. "You drew blue sky, white clouds, and little people on my car. Then I'll draw a set on your face too. Is that okay?" Xiaozong turned to look at his mother. The woman was stunned, then hurriedly nodded. "Yes, of course." I picked up the marker and drew a few strokes on Xiaozong's face. A cloud on the left, a tree on the right. Then I added a crooked little person on his forehead. When the people nearby saw this, they all laughed. "This punishment is good. Let the kid see for himself how ugly it looks." I picked Xiaozong up and held him in front of the car window. "Look." Xiaozong stared at his reflection in the glass, and his mouth immediately drooped. "So ugly. So you know it's ugly?" I put him down. "Then when you drew my car like this, do you think it hurt my heart?" "Yes." "Will you draw on cars again?" "No." Xiaozong wiped his tears and solemnly promised me, "Big brother, I'll definitely be good from now on." "That's right." I returned the marker to him. "Go home with your mom." The woman froze. "Go home? Then what about the car?" "I'll handle it myself." She looked at me in disbelief. "But the repair cost. There's insurance. Even if the insurance doesn't cover it, I'm not going to force you to sell your house to pay for my car." The onlookers were also surprised. "Young man, this is a sports car worth several million. You're really just letting it go?" I opened the car door. The child already admitted his mistake. And this lady didn't run away. She stayed here waiting for me the whole time. She took responsibility, so I can't force her to the brink either. Everyone disperse. I still have things to do. The woman grabbed Xiaozong and bowed deeply to me. "Young man, thank you. Thank you so much." "Xiaozong, hurry and thank Big Brother." With a face full of doodles, Xiaozong also bent down. "Thank you, Big Brother." I waved my hand and got into the car. Only after the sports car drove out of the neighborhood did I pull over by the roadside. When I got out and looked, my heart still ached. My new car. I've had it for less than a day, and someone already used it as a drawing board. I hurriedly contacted Porsche after-sales service. They confirmed that it was insured and could be repaired. "Sir, you may bring the vehicle in at 3 o'clock this afternoon." "Okay. Please restore it to its original state as soon as possible." Just as I hung up, the system prompt suddenly sounded. "Ding." Detected that host handled the conflict with proper tolerance and used a reasonable educational method. Reward: 1 lottery draw opportunity. Draw immediately? I instantly felt much better. My car got scribbled on, but I got 1 system lottery draw in exchange. It didn't seem like a loss. Save it for now. I have something more important to do. The most important thing now wasn't fixing the car or drawing the lottery. It was the lottery ticket and upgrading the system. I drove straight to Luo City Central Avenue and soon found a lottery shop. After entering, I handed the numbers I had written in advance to the owner. "Boss, print this set of numbers 200 times." The owner raised his head and looked at me in surprise. 200 times. Yes. Don't input the numbers wrong. The owner took the note and smiled as he operated the machine. Young man, that confident? My luck's been strong recently. Maybe today it'll be my turn. Then I'll congratulate you in advance. The owner clearly didn't take it seriously. Once the lottery tickets were printed, I checked them several times. After confirming that both the numbers and the multiplier were correct, I stuffed them into my phone case. After walking out of the shop, I took the lottery ticket out and looked at it again. A thin piece of paper, worth 1 billion. At least, very soon, it would be worth 1 billion. I wanted to take a photo as backup, but my phone camera was so blurry it looked like it had a layer of fog over it. This was still the second-hand phone I bought when I first started university. I had used it for 4 years, and even the screen was cracked. Time to replace it. I drove to a nearby mall and walked straight into a phone store. A sales associate immediately came up to greet me. "Sir, what product would you like to see?" "A phone." Depending on the configuration, our current models range from a few thousand to over 10,000. "Give me the most expensive one." The sales associate froze. "The highest configuration?" "Yes." I then pointed at the tablet beside it. "And add a tablet. Keep the two together under 20,000. The sales associate's smile instantly became enthusiastic. "Certainly, sir. Do you have any preferences for color and storage?" "Maximum storage. Any color. I'll prepare them for you right away." In less than half an hour, both the phone and tablet were in my hands. I switched my SIM card over and slipped the lottery ticket into the new phone case. Then I pressed it down carefully. "Baby, don't you dare get lost. My entire second half of life depends on you." After buying everything, I looked at my account. Only a little over 800 yuan remained. If I wanted to upgrade the system, I had to keep spending. Perfect. I'd go fix the car first. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I arrived at the Porsche after-sales service center on time. The staff came out to receive the car. "Mr. Jing, you can leave the vehicle to us." "How much will the repairs cost?" "Your insurance can cover this repair. No additional payment is required." I was a little disappointed. No need to spend money? Then how was I supposed to level up? But I couldn't just leave the car unrepaired. "Handle it as soon as possible. After the vehicle is restored, we will contact you immediately." I handed the key to them, then took my new phone and tablet and hailed a ride home. As soon as I entered the door, my phone rang. The ringtone was so crisp that I wasn't used to it. I glanced at the number. Zhao Qianhao, my brother from my college dorm. "Hello. Xingchen, what have you been up to lately?" "Nothing much. Just staying home." "Found a job?" "Not yet." "Then perfect." Zhao Qianhao's voice was very excited. "I got paid today. Tonight, I'm treating the guys from our dorm to dinner. Same place, Juklai Skewers near the north gate of the university. You have to come." I smiled. "Sure. What time?" 6:30. Old place. Be there or be square." After hanging up, I felt much better. In 4 years of university, I didn't have many friends. The only ones who had never looked down on me were the 3 brothers from my dorm. When I was poor, they brought me food. When I was too busy working part-time to make it to class, they saved me seats and took notes for me. When Lu Jingjing ordered me around, they had advised me countless times too. But back then, I couldn't listen at all. Thinking about it now, the people who truly treated me as one of their own had always been right beside me. I wouldn't forget. If I really became successful in the future, I would definitely help them too. I looked at the time. It was still early, so I leaned against the sofa and called out to the system. "System, didn't you reward me with 1 lottery draw earlier?" "Yes." Host handled the incident properly and received 1 extra lottery draw opportunity. "Use it immediately?" "Use it. Draw now." As soon as I finished speaking, 6 gift boxes appeared in my mind. Each box had a different color and pattern. The first had several pieces of paper drawn on it. The second was a hammer. The third was a cup of water. The fourth was a cube. The fifth looked like some kind of fruit. The last one had a pair of pants drawn on it. I was completely confused. System, what are these? The lottery contents cannot be viewed in advance. Once the host selects one, the corresponding reward will be obtained. Not even a hint. No. Fine. It was a free chance anyway. With how absurdly lucky I'd been recently, even a random pick shouldn't be bad. I closed my eyes and swiped my hand. This one, the one I chose, was the first box. Several pieces of paper. The box opened. A burst of golden light exploded instantly. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have obtained 79% of the shares of Tianhai Group Company, Limited. I opened my eyes. What the hell? 79%. The system didn't stop. Equity transfer procedure is being processed. Equity transfer complete. Relevant documents have been issued. Please check them, host. A folder appeared out of thin air in my hands. It was heavy. I hurriedly opened it. Equity transfer agreement. Company information. Financial statements. Management roster. Main business scope. All the documents were complete. I flipped to the front and confirmed it repeatedly. Shareholder name, Jing Xingchen. Shareholding ratio, 79%. In other words, from this moment onward, I had become the absolute controlling shareholder of Tianhai Group. So I'm a boss now? I continued reading. Tianhai Group had been established for many years. Its main businesses included hotels, tourism, import and export trade, and it also had involvement in amusement parks and real estate projects. The company's annual profit hovered around several hundred million yuan. Its operations were very stable. Although I had studied finance, I had never managed such a large group. Nor did I plan to start giving random orders the moment I arrived. Professional matters should be left to professionals. The company had originally been operating well. If a new boss like me, who knew nothing, suddenly barged in and started changing this and that, that wouldn't be reform. That would be causing trouble. My principle was simple. Observe first. Learn first. As long as there were no problems with the management, I wouldn't mess around blindly. At the same time, at Tianhai Group headquarters, inside the general manager's office, Guan Jing was reviewing the day's business documents. Her secretary, Xiaodan, suddenly pushed open the door and rushed in. President Guan, something happened. Guan Jing raised her head, looking displeased. Xiaodan, you've been with me for 6 years. No matter what happens, you must remain calm first. Why are you panicking like this? Xiaodan's voice had changed from anxiety. There's really no way to stay calm this time. The group's equity has just undergone a major change. Guan Jing put down the document. Explain clearly. Someone acquired 79% of Tianhai Group's shares in one go. What? Guan Jing shot to her feet. 79%. Are you sure? It's already been verified. All equity change procedures are legal and valid. The other party is now the group's largest shareholder and the new chairman with absolute control. Guan Jing's expression instantly changed. What about the original shareholders? They had already been reducing their holdings one after another. At present, your shares and those of several other shareholders combined only add up to about 6%. The remaining 15% is still circulating in the market. Guan Jing gripped the edge of the desk. Tianhai Group had been founded by her father and several partners. After she took over the company, she had poured countless efforts into bringing the group to where it was today. But now, someone she had never heard of had suddenly taken absolute control. That meant that as long as the other party wanted to, he could remove her at any time. Who is the new shareholder? The information is here. Xiaodan handed over a sheet of paper. Guan Jing took it. With just one glance, she froze again. Jing Xingchen, 22 years old. She continued looking down. Family background, blank. Work experience, blank. Other assets under his name, blank. Aside from his name, age, and contact information, almost nothing could be found. Guan Jing frowned tightly. A 22-year-old took down 79% of Tianhai Group's shares. Which hidden family released its heir for training? Xiaodan shook her head. We can't find out. His background is extremely clean and extremely mysterious. President Guan, what should we do now? Guan Jing was silent for a few seconds, then picked up her phone. I'll contact him personally. First, we need to figure out this new boss's attitude. You may go out. Yes. The office returned to silence. Guan Jing entered the number, but for a long time, she didn't make the call. She had seen countless people in the business world, but this was the first time she had encountered such a young man whose background was completely blank, yet who could instantly take control of Tianhai Group. She took a deep breath and finally pressed the dial button. My phone rang very soon. An unfamiliar number. Hello. A calm female voice came from the other end. President Jing, hello. I'm Guan Jing, General Manager of Tianhai Group. I froze for a moment. They found me this quickly? President Guan, hello. We just received the group's equity change notification. You currently hold 79% of Tianhai Group shares and have become the group's largest shareholder. So I'm taking the liberty of contacting you. May I ask when it would be convenient for you to come inspect the group? Inspect? I lowered my head and looked at the slippers on my feet. Wasn't this role change a bit too fast? Yesterday, I was still a poor kid getting slapped in the face. Today, someone was already asking me to inspect a group company. Not today. I have plans tonight. Tomorrow might be busy too. The day after tomorrow is the weekend. You should be resting, right? Guan Jing immediately replied. If President Jing has time, we can arrange it at any time. No need to go through that trouble. I thought for a moment. Next week. I'll find time to go over next week. All right, President Jing. Guan Jing's tone clearly became a bit more respectful. Would it be convenient to add your contact information? After you confirm the time, you can notify me in advance. I'll also need to report important group matters to you in the future. Sure. This phone number is my contact information. Understood, President Jing. Sorry for disturbing you. It's fine. See you next week. See you next week. I hung up, still feeling that it was somewhat unreal. New boss. Chairman. Inspecting the group. These terms had once been far too distant from me. But now, Tianhai Group really was mine. 79%. No one could take that away. On the other side, Guan Jing waited until I hung up first before putting down her phone. She leaned back in her chair and slowly let out a breath. His voice was very young. His attitude was also very easygoing. But the more he acted like that, the less she dared to be careless. Someone who could acquire Tianhai Group so casually. How could he possibly be an ordinary person? She immediately called in her secretary. Xiaodan, notify the management team. The new chairman may come over next week. Have all departments prepare in advance. Also, continue investigating President Jing's information. But don't cross any lines and absolutely don't offend him. Understood. Naturally, I had no idea that Tianhai Group had already begun preparing for me. I looked at the time. It was almost 6. I quickly changed into the new clothes I had bought yesterday, grabbed my phone, and went out. My car was still being repaired, so I could only take a taxi. At 6:30, I arrived at the north gate of Luo City University. Juklai Skewers. This place. We had eaten here countless times over our 4 years of university. As soon as I pushed open the door, I heard someone call me. Xingqian, over here. Zhao Qianhao stood up and waved at me hard. I smiled and walked over. Li Jiekai also stood up and raised his hand to pat my shoulder. You finally made it. The next second, he stared at my clothes. Wait. Fendi. He reached out and touched the fabric, his eyes widening more and more. And it's real. This outfit must cost at least tens of thousands, right? Zhao Qianhao also took my new phone, turning it over and over in his hands. You changed your phone too? Old Fourth, what's going on with you? Did a rich woman start keeping you? Get lost. I snatched my phone back. I just suddenly figured things out. All the money I earned before was spent on someone else. Now I want to treat myself better. The two exchanged a glance. Li Jiekai tentatively asked, You and Lu Jingjing really broke up? The smile on my face faded slightly. We broke up. I heard she got together with a man in his 40s. She even posted it on Moments. Zhao Qianhao hurriedly kicked him. If you don't know how to talk, then shut up. Why bring up the worst thing possible? What's there to be afraid of? Li Jiekai looked at me. Old Fourth, that woman isn't worth it at all. We all saw how you lived these past 3 years. Starting from sophomore year, you worked several part-time jobs every day. You gave her all the money you earned. And her, did she really treat you as her boyfriend? I picked up my glass of water and nodded directly. You're right. I was stupid before. It's over now. Zhao Qianhao slapped the table. Good that it's over. Drink more tonight. When the old doesn't go, the new won't come. I smiled. We can drink. But tonight's meal is on me. Just as Zhao Qianhao was about to argue, I directly raised my hand and stopped him. Don't talk yet. I know very well how much the three of you helped me over these 4 years of university. If I really make it big in the future, I definitely won't forget you. Today, just let me treat you first. Li Jiekai laughed so hard he leaned back and forth. Old Fourth, you just changed into this outfit, and even the way you talk sounds like a boss. My heart stirred. I really was a boss, and not a small one either. But if I said that now, they'd definitely think I had gone crazy. I glanced at the empty seat. Where's Old Third? Not here yet. Traffic. Zhao Qianhao waved his phone. He just messaged me. He'll be here soon. As soon as he finished speaking, someone rushed through the restaurant entrance. Bai Shao carried a bag on his back and was panting from running. I'm late. I was already getting ready to clock out, but that damn director suddenly dumped more work on me. He dragged me out for an extra half hour and didn't even give me overtime pay. He sat down heavily and was just about to drink water when he suddenly stared at me. Old Fourth, what's with your clothes? Fendi. In the past, you couldn't even bear to buy clothes worth 100 yuan. Now you're wearing something worth tens of thousands, just like that. I shoved the menu into his hands. It's a long story. I'll tell you slowly later. Order first. I waved to the waiter. Boss, more meat and more alcohol. Tonight, the four of us brothers won't leave until we're drunk. After a few drinks, everyone started talking more. Bai Shao worked in design. Every day, he was pressured by his director to work overtime, yet his salary was pitifully low. Li Jiekai had gone to a Mercedes-Benz sales center. He had to smile and please people all day, and the pressure to hit sales targets was enormous. Zhao Qianhao's family ran a small business. He had fooled around for a while and had recently just started working at his parents' company. It seemed that life after graduation wasn't easy for any of them. Old Fourth. Li Jiekai downed a mouthful of alcohol. What do you plan to do in the future? I picked up a skewer of grilled meat. Start a company. Travel a bit. And spend some money when I have time. The three of them looked at me at the same time. After 2 seconds of silence, they all laughed. I almost believed you. Old Fourth, you don't even blush when you brag now. Start a company? Find a job first. I laughed along too. As for Tianhai Group, I'd tell them later. Just as we were chatting excitedly, the restaurant's television suddenly switched to local news. The female anchor's voice sounded. Breaking news. Our city has just produced 200 first prize winning welfare lottery tickets. All 200 winning tickets were purchased by the same person. The pre-tax total prize money exceeds 1 billion yuan, setting a historic record. The entire skewer restaurant instantly fell silent. Immediately afterward, cries of shock filled the place. How much? 1 billion. Won by one person? Bai Shao raised his head and stared at the TV, his eyes red with envy. What kind of luck is that? Luo City just gained another super rich person. Li Jiekai patted him. Stop looking. It's not you anyway. Come on, drink. If any of you buy a car in the future, remember to come to me. I'll get you the lowest price, and it'll help me with my sales performance too. I raised my glass, doing my best to control the corners of my mouth. 1 billion. It wasn't someone else. It was me. Halfway through, I made an excuse to go to the restroom and went directly to the front desk to pay the bill. 780 yuan. Only a few dozen yuan remained in my account. Perfect. It was past 11 at night when the four of us brothers finally left. I watched them leave one by one and suddenly felt a little emotional. After graduation, everyone would only become busier and busier. Today, we could still sit together and drink. In a few more years, perhaps even meeting once would be difficult. So true brothers had to be held on to. Whoever had helped me, I would remember for life. I took a taxi back downstairs to my rental apartment and checked my account balance. 2 yuan left. I directly bought a bottle of water from the convenience store. Payment successful. My account balance reached 0. At the same time, the system panel suddenly lit up. The experience value instantly reached full. The level symbol in the middle began spinning. Ding! Congratulations, host. System level has increased to level 2. Level 2 function unlocked. Among the 8 function keys, besides prediction, another one lit up. Blessing. Immediately afterward, a new prompt sounded. Upgrade reward. 1 million yuan in cash. My phone immediately vibrated. 1 million had arrived. Holding my phone, I excitedly spun in place. From level 1 to level 2 required spending 20,000. From level 2 to level 3 requires spending 1 million. That's a direct 50-fold increase. I suddenly thought of a terrifying question. Then from level 3 to level 4, it won't require 50 million, will it? The system fell silent. Say something. Still no response. The corner of my mouth twitched. If you don't say anything, I'll take that as a yes. But I wasn't panicking. Tomorrow, 1 billion would be deposited. A mere 50 million was nothing. After returning home, I quickly washed up, locked the doors and windows, then carefully took out the lottery ticket. I stared at it for a long time. The ticket was real. The numbers were real. The news had already broadcast it too. I opened my mouth and laughed silently for a long time. I was afraid of disturbing the neighbors. And I was afraid that if I laughed too crazily, people would think I was insane. Maybe because I had drunk that night, I held the lottery ticket and looked at it for a long while. And in the end, I somehow fell asleep in a daze. The next day, sunlight shone through the window directly onto my face. My eyes snapped open. The first thing I did was touch the lottery ticket. Still there. Only then did I let out a breath of relief. Claiming the prize had to be done discreetly. I dug out my old clothes, put on a cap and a mask, and stuffed the lottery ticket into the innermost part of my backpack. Only after confirming no one was paying attention did I take a taxi to the Luo City Welfare Lottery Prize Redemption Center. After the staff repeatedly verified it, the way they looked at me changed. Sir, everything has been confirmed. You are the winner who purchased 200 first prize winning tickets. A staff member nearby excitedly leaned over. Sir, this is a historical record. May I take a photo with you? No. I lowered the brim of my cap. Process the prize first. And please keep my information strictly confidential. Understood. The staff quickly began the procedure. After calculations, they placed the final result in front of me. You purchased 200 tickets. After deducting taxes, the total prize money you can receive is 839,134,000 yuan. Over 800 million. Hearing that number, my heart still pounded hard. The staff then took out several documents. We have some charitable donation projects here. They include welfare programs and Hope primary schools. Whether or not to donate is entirely up to your personal wishes. I glanced at the final amount. Leave me 835 million. Donate the remaining 4 million plus to Hope primary schools. The staff looked at me in surprise. You're sure you want to donate all the remainder? I'm sure. Money was very important. But when I was young, I had also received help from society. Many of the clothes, textbooks, and food in the orphanage had been donated by kind people. Now that I had the ability, taking out a few million to help others was only right. The procedures were completed quickly. I received a massive cashier's check from Guojian Bank. 835 million yuan. I stuffed the check into my backpack and immediately left the prize redemption center. There happened to be a main branch of Guojian Bank nearby. I didn't take a detour and walked straight inside. Took a number. Waited in line. After waiting for more than 10 minutes, it was finally my turn. The teller politely asked, Sir, what business would you like to handle? Open a card and deposit some money. You can open a card at the smart terminal over there. The lobby manager will assist you. I'm depositing a check. The teller reached out. Then please present the check. I handed the check over. She accepted it casually. But when she saw the number on it clearly, her entire body instantly froze. 1 second. 2 seconds. She suddenly raised her head. 835 million. Several tellers nearby all looked over. I lowered my voice. Keep it down. Sir, I'm sorry. She quickly confirmed the check again. May I ask if this check belongs to you personally? I frowned. If it's not mine, is it yours? Sorry, that's not what I meant. The teller immediately stood up. Your transaction amount is relatively large. I need to consult my superior. Please wait a moment. Hurry up. I'm in a rush. In less than 2 minutes, a woman in professional attire walked over quickly. Several bank employees followed behind her. The woman took the initiative to extend her hand. Mr. Jing, hello. I'm Sun Feifei, president of Guojian Bank's Luo City main branch. I will personally handle your business from here. I glanced at her outstretched hand and shook it. It's just depositing money. Anyone can handle it. It's different. Sun Feifei smiled exceptionally politely. Your deposit amount has already reached our bank's highest tier customer standard. We will open a black gold card for you and provide exclusive customer service. In the future, whether it's fund transfers, investment consultation, or other banking services, dedicated personnel will be responsible. Fine. Then hurry. I was invited into the VIP room. Sun Feifei personally sat at the computer and verified the check and opened an account for me. But as she worked, she couldn't help looking at me. I was wearing old clothes. My cap was pulled very low. No matter how she looked at me, I didn't seem like someone who possessed over 800 million in cash. Soon, she asked, Mr. Jing, to complete the customer information, we need to fill in your workplace. Tianhai Group. Sun Feifei's fingers on the keyboard suddenly stopped. You mean Luo City's Tianhai Group? Yes. May I ask your specific position? I looked at her. Does depositing money require asking in such detail? Sorry, this is part of the data verification process for large amount clients. If it's inconvenient, we can. There's nothing inconvenient. I leaned back in the chair. For position, just write boss. Sun Feifei suddenly raised her head. Boss? What? This position needs to be verified. She observed my reaction, her tone clearly carrying a hint of probing. Mr. Jing, are you sure there's no mistake? I nodded directly. No mistake. The largest shareholder of Tianhai Group, holding 79%. I placed my phone on the table. Verify it however you want. Sun Feifei froze for a full 3 seconds. 79%. Yes. I pushed my phone toward her. Check it. Quickly. I still have to go pick up my car. She didn't dare ask again and immediately started the verification process. After the call connected, she put it on speaker. Hello, this is the General Manager's office of Tianhai Group. I'm Assistant Xiaodan. Hello, I'm Sun Feifei, President of Guojian Bank's Luo City main branch. We need to verify a client's identity. Please go ahead. Client name, Jing Xingchen. The other end of the phone instantly fell silent. Immediately afterward, Xiaodan's tone clearly changed. President Jing? Sun Feifei sat up straight. Yes. May I ask what position he holds in your group? He is our group's new chairman and the largest shareholder, holding 79% of the shares. Xiaodan spoke extremely quickly. President Sun, President Jing's identity has already been confirmed at the highest level within the group. Please make sure not to neglect him. Understood. Thank you. The call ended. The VIP room was so quiet that only the sound of the air conditioner remained. Sun Feifei looked at me again, and her gaze had completely changed. Earlier, it had been suspicion. Now, it was entirely caution and respect. President Jing, I apologize. What happened just now was part of the normal verification process. Please forgive me. It's fine. I tapped the tabletop. When will the card be ready? Right away. She handled it personally, moving twice as fast as before. Soon, a black gold card was handed to me with both her hands. Mr. Jing, the full 835 million yuan has already been deposited into your account. This card is our bank's highest level black gold card. In the future, for any business you need to handle, you can contact me directly. She took out several more documents. We also have some wealth management products with relatively high returns, and the risk levels are quite comprehensive as well. Would you like to learn more? I put away the bank card. I don't have time today. I need to change clothes first, then pick up my car. We'll talk about wealth management later. Sun Feifei immediately stood up. Of course. Would it be convenient to add you on WeChat? In the future, whether it's deposits, loans, investments, or large capital transfers, you can come directly to me. Sure. I pulled up my QR code. She immediately scanned it and added me. Mr. Jing, I'll see you out. No need. I stood up and walked outside. Go back to your work. Even so, she still escorted me all the way to the bank entrance. She did not stop until I had walked down the steps. As soon as I left the bank, a call came from Porsche After Sales Service. Hello, Mr. Jing. Your Porsche 918 has been fully repaired. You may come pick it up at any time. My steps paused. 918? Yes, the Porsche 918 Spider. Only then did I finally learn what car the system had given me. All right, I'll come over now. I took a taxi to the after-sales center. The female customer service representative who had received me yesterday had just come up to greet me when she froze, staring at me. Mr. Jing, it's me. She pointed at my old clothes and hat. You're dressed like this today because... Several customers nearby who were looking at cars also cast strange looks at me. I looked down at myself. To avoid being recognized when claiming the prize, I had deliberately dressed myself up like a homeless man. It did look completely out of place here. I just finished recording a show. I casually made up an excuse. It was the styling arranged by the production team. I hadn't had time to change before I got your call. The customer service representative suddenly understood. So that's what happened. She immediately handed me the car key. Mr. Jing, please follow me to inspect the car. We arrived at the repair area. The red sports car had already been restored to its original state. The blue sky and white clouds on the car door were completely gone, and the paint was so glossy it looked like a mirror. The customer service representative stood beside it and introduced it. Mr. Jing, your 918 is extremely rare in all of Luo City. As far as we know, there are only two, and the other one doesn't have as high a configuration as yours. I walked around the car. So your name is 918. The customer service representative froze. You didn't know the model? No. I touched the body of the car. I thought it looked nice at the time, so I bought it. The corner of her mouth twitched. When you purchased it, the salesperson didn't introduce it to you? I was in a hurry and didn't listen carefully. It was something the system had given me. Where was I supposed to hear an introduction? Of course, I could not say that. I pressed the car key, and the headlights lit up. The repair looks good. I'll drive it away now. Of course, Mr. Jing. The customer service representative watched me get into the car, her face full of confusion. She was probably still guessing which TV show celebrity I was. I did not explain. With one press of the accelerator, I headed straight for Universal Shopping Center. I had to change clothes. I could not possibly go shopping wearing this pile of rags. I had just parked the car when I saw two young men standing not far away. One was holding a phone, while the other kept talking into the camera. Brothers, today we're going to camp out at Universal Shopping Center and see what kind of spending level the rich people of Luo City really have. Let's see what kind of people truly own luxury cars. As soon as he finished speaking, the camera turned toward my car. Porsche 918. And it's a red high-spec one. The two of them rushed over at the same time. When I pushed open the door and got out, the one holding the phone had already arrived in front of me. The comments in his live stream were scrolling rapidly. Some people were marveling at how expensive the car was. Some were mocking my outfit. Others guessed I was a driver or a mechanic. Sir, may we interview you with a few questions? The phone camera was almost pressed against my face. My expression darkened, and I turned sideways to avoid it. No, I'm in a hurry. Just one question. The streamer followed after me. May I ask if this car belongs to you personally? What does that have to do with you? I looked at his phone. Pointing a camera at someone without permission is very rude. Please stop. After saying that, I turned and left. The live stream instantly erupted into chaos. Some people said I was putting on airs. Others fired back, saying that if they had the ability, they should drive a 918 first before judging. Still others continued guessing that I was only a driver. I had no interest in arguing with them. But after walking several dozen meters, I realized those two were still following behind me. I stopped. They immediately stopped too, pretending to film somewhere else. I was too lazy to bother with them and walked straight into the Gucci boutique. The male sales associate glanced at my old clothes and visibly hesitated. Then, he noticed the Porsche key in my hand. His attitude instantly became enthusiastic. Hello, sir. How may I help you? Clothes. I tugged at the old jacket whose underarm seam had already come undone. This set was for a show recording. Hurry and help me change out of it. Understood. He immediately led me to the men's section. What style do you prefer? Bring anything that suits me. Tops, pants, shoes, and accessories. The full set. Of course. Please wait a moment. I did not try them on one by one. The sales associate matched them for me, and if I thought they looked good, I kept them. Shirts, jackets, trousers, shoes, belts, watch accessories. After more than 20 minutes, the sofa was already piled with over a dozen items. Check out. The sales associate quickly checked everything with a calculator. Sir, the total is 685,000 yuan. Swipe the card. Payment successful. I changed into one of the outfits and directly stuffed my old clothes into a shopping bag. The person in the mirror instantly looked completely different. The clothes fit perfectly. My figure looked tall and straight. Combined with this face of mine, I did look a bit like the celebrity they had described. The sales associate stood beside me, praising me repeatedly. Sir, this outfit looks as if it were tailor-made for you. You look extremely distinguished in it. Give me the things. I took the shopping bags and walked out of the boutique. The two streamers were still waiting outside. When they saw me come out, both of them froze, especially the live stream. The people who had just been calling me a mechanic instantly shut up. I glanced at the two of them, carried my things, and left directly. They did not dare rush up again, but they still secretly followed behind me. Soon, I bought some daily necessities as well. When I passed by the skincare section, I stopped. In the past, Lu Jingjing had constantly nagged in my ear. Someone bought La Mer. Someone started using Helena Rubinstein. Some brand's essence cost tens of thousands. To pick gifts for her, I had specifically researched these brands before. I did not remember much about the ingredients, but I remembered the prices very clearly. Now I had money. Why should only women get to use them? I could use them myself too. I'll take this set. Sir, this La Mer set totals 24,211 yuan. Pay. What about this Helena Rubinstein set? 9,728 yuan. I'll take it. This La Prairie group adds up to 49,885 yuan. I'll take that too. The female sales associate was stunned. Sir, some of these products are more suitable for women. I looked at her. Women can use them, but men can't. Of course they can. She immediately changed her wording. As long as the usage method is right, the effects will be very good. Then pack them up. I swept through the stores along the way. The two streamers behind me filmed the whole way too. When the people in the live stream saw me spending tens of thousands at a time, they completely exploded. 685,000 on clothes. And another 100,000 or so on skincare. Does this guy spend money without even checking his balance? One of the streamers lowered his voice and said, Brothers, looks like we've really run into a super tycoon. Actually, I had noticed them long ago. But as long as they did not shove the camera in my face, I could not be bothered to stop and argue with them. After shopping continuously for more than 20 minutes, I was already too tired to move. In the past, I truly could not understand how some people could shop for an entire day. This was more tiring than delivering takeout. Just as I was about to find a place to rest, a salesperson took the initiative to stop me. Sir, would you like to learn about some properties? Luo City's top-tier luxury flat, world's finest residence. I immediately became interested. I'll take a look. The salesperson's eyes lit up, and he quickly invited me into the booth. Sir, my surname is Zheng. You can just call me Xiao Zheng. World's finest residence is located on Luo City's financial street. There are 3 grade A tertiary hospitals nearby, as well as several key schools. Stop. I raised my hand and interrupted him. I don't care about that. I only have a few questions. How big? How much? When can I move in after buying? Are there completed units available? Xiao Zheng froze for a moment, then hurriedly changed his pitch. Yes. All units at World's Finest Residence are fully renovated completed homes, with 1 elevator serving 1 household. The main unit size is 1,108 square meters. I raised an eyebrow. Over 1,000 square meters? Yes. He pointed toward the model. The King building has 28 floors in total. The best units are on floors 21 to 23. The current promotional price is 120,000 yuan per square meter. I calculated mentally. So, 1 unit is over 130 million? More or less. Xiao Zheng observed my expression and carefully added, If you think the price is a bit high, we also have lower floors. No need. I pointed at the 23rd floor. My lucky number is 23. I'll take this one. Huh. Xiao Zheng did not react. I said the 23rd floor. Prepare the contract. Can I pay in full? Yes, of course. He suddenly stood up, so excited that even his voice changed. Mr. Jing, are you sure you want to sign now? I'm sure. It would be best if I could move in tomorrow. I then looked toward the garage beneath the model. I also want the accompanying parking space. Find one close to the elevator. Yes. Xiao Zheng turned and ran. After running a few steps, he turned back to confirm. Mr. Jing, should I really prepare the contract? If you ask one more time, I won't buy it. I won't ask. He sprinted toward the finance office. The two streamers hiding outside the booth were completely dumbfounded. They had probably guessed I was looking at property, but they had not expected me to actually buy one. And a property worth over 100 million at that. I leaned back in the chair and closed my eyes. System, does buying property count toward upgrade experience? No. The system answered very decisively. Why? Upgrade experience only counts valid spending made by the host using system reward funds and through the designated Luo City bank card. The host's personal funds in the Guojian bank account cannot increase experience. I frowned. What if I transfer the money to the Luo City bank card? The system will determine it as an illegal transfer and clear the corresponding funds. That harsh. Please do not attempt to exploit loopholes, host. Fine. In any case, I had over 800 million now. Even if it could not upgrade the system, it would not affect me buying a house. Mr. Jing. I opened my eyes and saw Xiao Zheng standing before me, his hands still spread out. Are you tired? Would you like me to massage your shoulders? I immediately shrank backward. Don't touch me. Is the contract ready? It's ready. Xiao Zheng immediately snatched the shopping bags from my hands. I'll carry these for you. You just need to follow me to the finance office. The contract, parking space, taxes, fees, and related procedures all added up to a total of 133.66 million yuan. After confirming there were no issues, I paid on the spot. Watching the number pop up on the payment page, Xiao Zheng's breathing quickened. To me, this was not just a house. It was a home. Since childhood, I had always lived in places arranged by others. The orphanage, dormitories, rental rooms. Those places were all places where I could sleep, but none of them truly belonged to me. Now I had one, over 1,000 square meters, with my name on it. No one would ever suddenly drive me out again. After the contract was signed, Xiao Zheng handed the keys to me with both hands. Mr. Jing, these are the house keys. In the future, just call me Mr. Jing. Don't call me Mr. Chun. It sounds awkward. Of course, Mr. Jing. He took out 3 more cards. This is the access card. This is the exclusive card for the owner's club. And this one is the garage pass card. The smart door lock for the property can also be replaced and registered with your fingerprint at any time. When would be convenient for you to inspect the home? Now. I took the cards. Can that be arranged? Yes. Xiao Zheng immediately contacted the property management. A few minutes later, everything had been arranged. Just as we were about to leave, my stomach suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. Hold my things for me first. I'm going to the restroom. No problem, Mr. Jing. After I left, those 2 streamers predictably surrounded him. When I returned, they had already walked far away. Xiao Zheng glanced at their backs, his face full of vigilance. Mr. Jing, have those 2 been following you the whole time? 2 streamers. Don't bother with them. Let's go. I took him to the parking lot. When he saw my red 918, Xiao Zheng stood rooted in place for a long while. This is also your car. Get in. Don't waste time. He carefully sat in the passenger seat, his whole body trembling with excitement. First, he took selfies. Then, he photographed the interior. After that, he recorded a video. Finally, he lowered his head and frantically replied to messages. I glanced at him. First time riding in one. First time. Xiao Zheng nodded hard. Mr. Jing, I've been selling houses for 5 or 6 years, and this is my first time sitting in a car worth over 10 million. Sit tight. I pressed the accelerator. His entire body was slammed back into the seat, and he was so excited he almost cried out. 10+ minutes later, we arrived at world's finest residence. The property manager, security captain, and several staff members were already waiting at the entrance. As soon as the car stopped, they came forward to greet us. Mr. Jing, welcome home. Welcome home. Hearing those 4 words, my hands suddenly paused. No one had ever said that to me before. I got out of the car and looked at the building in front of me. Let's see the house first. Of course. A group of people followed behind me. I was very unused to the feeling of being surrounded and escorted everywhere. Don't have this many people follow me. Leave 2 to introduce the situation. The rest of you, go back to work. The property manager immediately waved his hand. Do as Mr. Jing says. We entered building number 3. The elevator went directly to the 23rd floor. Standing at the door, I held the key, and my hand was actually trembling a little. Behind this door was my home. I inserted the key and pushed open the door. First was a spacious foyer. Farther in was a living room nearly 200 square meters in size. An entire wall of floor-to-ceiling windows. Light gray furniture. An open Western-style kitchen connected to an independent Chinese kitchen. I did not stop and continued walking inside. 3 master bedrooms. For guest bedrooms. A children's room. A nanny's room. A study. An independent walk-in closet. For bathrooms. And several functional areas. After making a full round, I only said 2 words. Not bad. The property manager immediately smiled. Mr. Jing, the locksmith has already arrived. We need you to personally register your fingerprint. All right. More than 10 minutes later, the new door lock was installed. Xiao Zheng and the property staff explained a few more things, then took the initiative to leave. The door closed. The huge house suddenly became quiet. I walked into the master bedroom alone and fell directly onto the bed. The soft mattress supported my entire body. I looked at the ceiling and could not help but smile. I have a home now. No need to pay rent. No need to worry about the landlord kicking me out. This place really is mine. The system suddenly spoke. Host, will you continue upgrading today? I sat up. Not yet. After upgrading to level 2 yesterday, I still haven't used up prediction and blessing. If I keep upgrading, can the number of function uses stack? Yes. Each time the system upgrades, currently unlocked functions will each receive 1 use. When the system reaches level 9, the control panel will enter the next stage. I immediately closed my eyes. The system panel, full of futuristic technology, appeared again. The 2 buttons, prediction and blessing, were both lit. I had already experienced the prediction function. What about blessing? I raised my hand and tapped it. The button instantly shone with golden light. Ding! Host has used the blessing function. Congratulations, host. You have obtained the skill, photographic memory. My eyes shot open. What? Photographic memory? It is recommended that the host make reasonable use of this skill for learning. This skill will bring enormous help to the host in both life and career. A cool sensation exploded from the depths of my mind. It lasted only 1 short second. Then, everything returned to normal. I touched my head. No extra parts. No missing hair either. That's it. The skill has already taken effect. I still did not believe it. So I took out my phone and casually searched for a professional book. I quickly flipped through 1 page. Over 10 seconds later, I closed my eyes. The entire page instantly appeared in my mind. Every single word. The position of every line. Even the punctuation marks were perfectly clear. I opened my eyes and flipped through more than a dozen pages in a row, reading 10 lines at a glance. I remembered everything. Not only the words. Even the complex data and formulas inside seemed to have been engraved into my brain. I jumped up from the bed in excitement. It's real. System, what kind of blessing is this? This is a cheat. If I had possessed this ability when I was studying, would exams still require review? What others learned in a year, I might need only a few days to master. Knowledge others accumulated over decades. I only had to read it all once to firmly remember it. I immediately looked toward the living room. With such a large house, the study could not remain empty. I needed to buy books, finance, management, law, foreign trade, hotel operations, real estate. I needed to learn everything related to Tianhai Group's businesses. Right now, I truly did not know how to manage a company. But from this moment on, I could learn. And I would learn faster than everyone else. I lay back down on the bed and looked out at Luo City beyond the window. Yesterday, I was still a poor young man anyone could humiliate. Today, I had 800 million in cash, a Porsche 918, a house worth over 100 million, and 79% of Tianhai Group's shares. Now, I had gained photographic memory. I clenched my phone and sat up directly from the bed. I'm not waiting until tomorrow. I'll buy books first. Then, I'll finish reading all of Tianhai Group's materials. When I go to the company next week, I do not want to be nothing more than a clueless figurehead. They call me Mr. Jing. Then I have to let them know. I can sit firmly in this position. System, this ability is absolutely heaven-defying. I stared at the words on my phone, so excited that I sat up from the bed. Photographic memory. From now on, whether I studied finance, management, or company operations, as long as I read it once, I could remember it firmly. Knowledge others accumulated over 10 years, I might be able to digest in just a few months. I immediately looked at the system panel. If blessing is this powerful, what about prediction? System, activate the prediction function. Ding. Prediction function activated. Result generating. I held my breath. Compared with blessing, I looked forward to prediction even more. The reason was simple. Prediction could directly create wealth. A few seconds later, the system gave the result. Predicted event. On April 4th, 2034, the Tianwen residential complex on 3rd Street, 4th Street, and 5th Street of Manhwa Road in Luo City's Education District will officially begin demolition procedures. Please seize the opportunity, host. Demolition? I suddenly stood up. I knew far too well what those two words meant. Money, and very possibly an astronomical sum. I immediately saved the address into my phone and opened the map to search. Soon, a large old residential area appeared on the screen. Tianwen Residential Complex. Built nearly 40 years ago. Many buildings, large area. Online information showed that the facilities in this residential area were severely aging. A large number of homes were already vacant, and there were even many dangerous buildings. Once a place this large underwent demolition, the compensation would definitely not be a small amount. But as for exactly how to buy quickly, and how to complete large-scale transactions, I had no idea. However, it did not matter that I did not know. I had employees. Tianhai Group was involved in land and real estate projects. Those people must be more professional than me. I checked the time. 3:45 p.m. Still before the end of the workday. I found the number Guanjing had called me from yesterday and dialed it directly. Before 3 rings, the call connected. Hello, this is President Guan's office. I'm her assistant, Xiaodan. President Guan is currently in a meeting. May I ask who you are? I raised an eyebrow. Guanjing actually had not saved my number? I'm Jing Xingchen. I have something urgent for Guanjing. The other end of the line instantly went silent. Then, Xiaodan's voice changed. Mr. Jing. Hello. I'll go get President Guan right away. Please wait. At the same time, in the conference room at Tianhai Group headquarters, Guanjing had just informed all the executives about the change in the company's equity. Everyone, from today onward, Tianhai Group has a new controlling shareholder. Mr. Jing holds 79% of the shares. From now on, all major decisions of the group must be reported to Mr. Jing. The conference room was silent. Just then, with a bang, the conference room door was pushed open. Xiaodan rushed in on high heels. Everyone was startled. Guanjing frowned. Xiaodan, what is it? Xiaodan ran to her side and lowered her voice. President Guan, Mr. Jing is calling. He said it's urgent. Guanjing's expression became serious, and she immediately picked up the phone. Meeting paused. She walked out of the conference room and answered the call. Boss, this is Guanjing. President Guan, I need your help with something. Please go ahead. What is the main model of Tianhai Group's current land business? Although Guanjing was puzzled, she immediately answered. We usually acquire promising land or old properties first, then transfer them to real estate development companies. The profit isn't as high as direct development, but the risk is relatively lower and the capital turnover is faster. Then that's right. I went straight to the point. On 3rd Street, 4th Street, and 5th Street of Wenhua Road in the Education District, there's a Tianwen residential complex. I want to buy all the houses there. The other end of the phone suddenly went silent. A few seconds later, Guanjing's tone was clearly anxious. Boss, are you talking about Tianwen residential complex? Yes. No. She almost blurted it out. That place is a dead zone recognized throughout the industry. There hasn't been any formal planning there for decades. The group previously sent people to investigate it specifically, but the underground conditions there are very complicated. It's simply not suitable for building high-rise residences. The surrounding facilities aren't good either. That place has no investment value. I did not get angry. The fact that she could directly oppose me at least meant she was being responsible toward the company. President Guan, listen to me first. Since you think it isn't suitable for group investment, then this matter won't be handled as a group project. I'll pay for it personally. You send people to acquire it on my behalf. All property rights will be registered under my personal name. If this batch of properties really makes a profit in the future, I'll take out 10% of the profit as the group's reserve fund. If it loses money, it's my personal loss. The company won't bear any losses. Guanjing hesitated. The boss was spending his own money. The employees were responsible for doing the legwork. If it made money, the company would also benefit. Under these conditions, she truly had no reason to refuse. Boss, how much are you planning to invest? Tell me the specific situation there first. Guanjing had clearly conducted a detailed investigation of Tianwen residential complex and answered right away. The current second-hand housing average price is only around 900 yuan per square meter. The entire area has 117 buildings, all 6-story residential buildings. There are approximately 6,318 households in total. The unit sizes are generally large, many between 100 and 200 square meters. Because the buildings are too old and some of them already have safety hazards, the price has always been extremely low. She paused, then tried to persuade me again. Boss, most of the owners there have listed their homes for sale. As long as you're willing to buy, it is indeed possible to purchase a large amount. But buying them is easy. Selling them later will be difficult. This money of yours may very likely get completely trapped there. I quickly calculated. The lottery prize was 835 million. Buying the house had cost a bit over 130 million. I still had nearly 700 million left. Enough. President Guan, I'll personally invest 690 million. I want you to lead the people in charge of the group's land business and acquire all the properties in Tianwen Residential Complex before April 1st. Remember, all of them. Boss, Guan Jing clearly still wanted to stop me. This is a decision, not a discussion. My tone became directly forceful. If the money isn't enough, tell me immediately. If you encounter owners unwilling to sell, negotiate as much as possible. Before April 1st, I want to see all the property rights procedures. After saying that, I transferred 690 million yuan directly to the group's temporary account she provided. The money has been transferred. As long as the employees participating in this acquisition complete the task on time, I'll give each of them a 20,000 yuan bonus at the end of next month. Guan Jing was silent for a long time before she finally agreed. Understood. Since it is your decision, we will carry it out with full effort. Good. I'll bring my ID and other materials over next Monday. That's fine, boss. The call ended. Guan Jing stood outside the conference room for a long time without moving. 690 million. Transferred just like that. Without even blinking. She could now confirm only two things. First, the new boss was indeed rich. Second, the new boss's investment vision was truly incomprehensible. Guan Jing returned to the conference room. Everyone instantly quieted down. Just now, Mr. Jing issued his first task. He will personally invest 690 million yuan and requires the group's project team to acquire all old properties in Tianwen Residential Complex in the Education District before April 1st. The properties will be registered under Mr. Jing's personal name. Employees who complete the task on time will each receive a 20,000 yuan reward. The conference room instantly exploded. Tianwen Residential Complex? That's a dead zone. Spending over 600 million to buy a pile of dangerous buildings. What exactly is the new boss thinking? He's spending his own money. If he loses it, it has nothing to do with the company. That's right. Who cares what he's buying them for? The 20,000 yuan bonus is real money. Let's do it. We have to take it down before April 1st. Guan Jing stood at the front, watching everyone's reaction without stopping them. Because even she herself did not believe this investment could make money. But this was the boss's personal decision. They could only execute it. Over the weekend, I drove back to my former rental room. The room was not large. The wall paint had yellowed. The tables and chairs were old as well. I stood at the doorway, suddenly a little reluctant to part with it. After moving out of the orphanage, this place had carried all 4 years of my college life. I had eaten instant noodles here. I had stayed up late doing part-time work here. I had also calculated here how many meals I could skip to buy Lu Jingjing one more gift. Those memories were not exactly beautiful, but they were all my past. When the landlord came to collect the key, I suddenly asked, "Is this room for sale?" The landlord froze for a moment. "It can be sold. You want to buy it?" "How much?" "It's an old place, and the area is small. For 100,000 yuan. All right. I bought it on the spot. Not for investment. I just wanted to leave a place for my past self. In the future, when I occasionally returned to look at it, it could remind me how hard my life had once been and how I had climbed up step by step. At noon on Monday, before I had time to go to Tianhai Group, Guan Jing called first. "Boss, there's progress on the Tianwen Residential Complex acquisition." So fast, it went smoother than expected. Guan Jing's tone remained serious. After we sent people over, the local owners were very welcoming. Right now, the owners of all 117 buildings have basically agreed to sell. Because they were worried we didn't have enough funds, they even proactively proposed lowering the price by another 50 yuan per square meter. I smiled. The people there had been trapped for too long. Now that someone was willing to take everything off their hands at once, of course they wanted to quickly get rid of it. How much will it ultimately cost? Estimated at around 650 million yuan. Because it involves more than 6,000 households, handling ordinary property certificates would be too complicated. After communicating with the transaction center, we can conduct centralized registration by building and create a joint property rights document. The property owner will only be your name. Below that, the address and ownership information of every building and every unit will be listed in detail. That works. When will the change be processed? 1:30 this afternoon. The location is the Education District Real Estate Transaction Building. All right, I'll be there on time. I hung up, in a great mood. I had thought acquiring 117 buildings would take at least some time. Unexpectedly, the local owners were even more anxious than I was. I went out and ate a bowl of noodles, then drove to the Education District Real Estate Transaction Building. At 1:30 p.m., I arrived on time. After parking, I immediately saw two women standing in front of the entrance. One had a gentle temperament and wore a business suit. The other was younger and held a huge stack of documents. I walked over and reached out first. President Guan. Guan Jing was visibly stunned. You are? Mr. Jing. It's me. She quickly shook my hand. Hello, boss. I smiled. Don't be so nervous. Is everyone here? They're all here. The owner's representatives, neighborhood committee, transaction center, and notary personnel are all inside. Then let's handle it. I walked in front. Guan Jing and Xiaodan followed behind. Xiaodan lowered her voice. President Guan, the boss is completely different from what I imagined. I thought he'd be the kind of rich young master whose body had been hollowed out by wine and women. I didn't expect him to be so tall, so handsome, and so sunny. She glanced again at the red 918 in the parking lot. And the license plate is sequential too. It's just that his investment vision is a little. Guan Jing glared at her. Shut up. If the boss hears you, don't even think about getting your bonus this month. Their voices were very low, but I heard them. I could not be bothered to argue. They did not know of the system's existence. In their eyes, Tianwen residential complex was naturally just a pile of unwanted broken-down houses. But in a few days, they would know who the joke really was. After entering the transaction hall, Guan Jing first introduced me to everyone. This is Mr. Jing Xingchen, chairman of Tianhai Group. Today's acquisition is Mr. Jing's personal investment. It has nothing to do with Tianhai Group's operating funds. She then turned to me. Boss, the 690 million yuan you previously transferred into the company has already been returned through the original route. Today, you will pay the transaction center directly from your personal account. She was clearly separating the risk. If it lost money, it was all mine. If it made money, it had nothing to do with the group either. I nodded. That's fine. For the next 2 hours, I was almost constantly signing my name. Contracts, notarization documents, property transfer agreements, centralized settlement authorizations. After pressing my fingerprint on the final document, I directly paid 650 million yuan to the transaction center. This money would be transferred by the transaction center to the more than 6,000 original owners according to the contract order. After the procedures were completed, a staff member handed me a property rights document as thick as a dictionary. 117 residential buildings have all completed property rights transfer. Property owner, Jing Xingchen. I carried the thick certificate out of the transaction hall and could not help weighing it in my hands. How is this a property certificate? It weighed almost like a brick. I turned to look at Guan Jing. President Guan, thank you for your hard work today. I'll treat you and Xiaodan to a meal. No need. Guan Jing refused very decisively. There's still a lot of company work to handle. The look in her eyes when she saw me was very complicated. Clearly, she had already regarded me as a prodigal son with so much money he had nowhere to spend it. I did not explain. I only patted the property certificate in my hand. What a pity. I probably won't get to hold this thing for many more days before it gets taken away. Guan Jing frowned. What do you mean? Nothing. I smiled and opened the car door. President Guan, go back to the company first. When I officially go over another day, we'll talk again. I drove away. Guan Jing and Xiaodan were still standing where they were. Xiaodan's face was full of confusion. He won't get to hold it for many days before it gets taken away? Does he know something? Guan Jing was silent for a moment, then shook her head. Impossible. If there really were plans for that place, it's impossible that the group wouldn't have received even the slightest news. Maybe he's just giving himself an excuse. After returning home, I placed the thick property rights document on the table. After carefully flipping through it, I finally understood the method of joint registration. The transaction center had separately counted all 117 buildings. Under each building, the address and area of every unit were recorded in detail. In the end, all ownership was concentrated under my name alone. The procedures were clear. The legal relationship was explicit. Now all I had to do was wait for April 4th. Ding! Host, are you still not going to upgrade the system? The system suddenly urged me. I slapped my forehead. I almost forgot. I'll go spend money right now. I was still about 260,000 yuan of spending away from a system upgrade. I happened to be missing a watch. I immediately drove to the nearby Wanlong shopping center and went straight to the watch counter. Cars I liked. But compared with cars, I liked mechanical watches even more. Precise, complex, and constantly reminding the wearer to cherish time. I looked around the counter and finally chose a Patek Philippe Nautilus. How much is this one? Sir, this model is currently priced at 260,000 yuan. This one, the sales clerk froze. You don't want to try it on first? Wrap it up. I handed over my Luo Citibank card. Swipe the card. The moment payment was completed, the system panel immediately lit up. Ding! System experience value has reached the upgrade requirement. System upgrading. I closed my eyes. The progress bar at the center of the panel shot rapidly from 1% to 100%. The system level jumped from level 2 to level 3. At the same time, a third function button lit up. Skill. The experience requirement also changed accordingly. 1,000,000/10,000,000. Ding! System successfully upgraded to level 3. Upgrade reward. 10 million yuan in cash. My phone immediately vibrated. 10 million yuan had arrived in my Luo Citibank account. I put on the new watch, so excited that I started moonwalking in the mall. People passing by all looked at me. I did not care. They did not know that I had just unlocked another heaven-defying function. After returning to the car, I directly reclined in the seat. System, let's talk. What exactly is the skill function? And can this 10 million be used to start a company or invest? The skill function contains a large number of high-level abilities. After using it, the host will obtain the corresponding skill. The system upgrade reward funds must be used for the host's normal living consumption. They cannot be used for investment, financial transactions, or business operations. I was a little disappointed. So the 10 million can only be spent. Yes. What about buying cars or houses? Personal consumption that complies with the rules can be counted toward experience. Fine. I looked at the newly lit skill button. Then I'll use skill first. Please operate it yourself, host. I closed my eyes and lightly tapped the skill button. Golden light instantly burst open. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have obtained the divine level skill, stock market prediction. Skill duration, permanent. I suddenly sat upright. Stock market prediction? Permanent. What did that mean? As long as I operated properly, didn't that mean I now possessed a money-making machine that would never stop? Lottery prediction could only be used once. The demolition news also required waiting for the right opportunity. But the stock market traded every day. System, you're my family. Can you let me kiss you? The system was silent for 2 seconds. Abnormal behavior and speech detected from the host. Please maintain distance, host. I laughed so hard I collapsed onto the steering wheel. Just kidding. How do I use this skill? Stock market prediction can be used once per day. Each use will predict stocks that may rise sharply the following day. Note, limited to 1 use per day. Understood. Can I try it now? Yes. Close your eyes and focus your attention on the securities market. Imagine the current market trend, and the skill will automatically provide the prediction result. I immediately did as instructed. My thoughts gradually sank into darkness. A few seconds later, 6 sets of stock codes suddenly appeared in my mind. I quickly opened my eyes and recorded all 6 codes into my phone. After confirming them repeatedly, I clenched my fist. I'll verify it tomorrow. As long as these 6 stocks really rise, my wealth will be completely free. The securities companies had already closed for the day. Opening an account would have to wait until the next day. I drove home and studied stock trading rules for several hours before finally falling asleep late at night. Early the next morning, I went straight to a securities company to open an account. After completing the procedures, I transferred the remaining personal funds in my hands into the securities account. Opening the market software, I immediately searched for the 6 stocks the system had predicted yesterday. But when I looked at the first one, I froze. Limit up. The second one. Limit up. The third one. Still limit up. Although the remaining 3 had not hit their upper limit, they were also continuing to rise. All 6 had risen. Not a single one had fallen. I stared at the screen, my heartbeat growing faster and faster. It was real. The stock market prediction skill was real. Once per day from now on. As long as I controlled my position size well, my wealth would grow bigger and bigger like a snowball. However, I did not act immediately. The system predicted the next day's trend. If I predicted in the morning, bought today, then the stock hit limit down first before hitting limit up tomorrow, I would still lose money. To reduce the risk, I decided to wait until close to market close to predict and then buy. At 2:45 p.m., I activated the skill. 4 sets of stock codes appeared in my mind. I quickly checked their trends. After confirming there were no obvious abnormalities, I bought them directly. 1 million yuan for each stock. For million in total. After buying, I took a screenshot and sent it into the dormitory group chat. Brothers, anyone trading stocks? Inside information. 2 of these may hit limit up tomorrow. Bai Shao was the first to jump out. Old Fourth, don't believe any so-called inside information. 9 out of 10 insider tips are traps, and the remaining 1 is waiting to get you arrested. I replied with a smile. If you don't believe it, just wait and see tomorrow. Zhao Qianhao sent a mischievous grin emoji. Old Fourth, you're this confident? Then I'll follow a little. Li Jiekai also appeared. The 4 of us all majored in finance and securities in college, but after graduation, not one of our jobs matched our major. Bai Shao immediately replied, who says you have to work in the field you studied? I edit pictures every day now. What does that have to do with finance? Jiekai sells cars. Qianhao works for his family. Old Fourth is currently unemployed. I immediately sent a reply. Correction. I'm not unemployed. I'm a boss. The group went silent for 2 seconds. Then, all 3 of them sent mocking emojis at the same time. Here we go again. Ever since Old Fourth changed into new clothes, his bragging skills have improved rapidly. President Jing, when are you going to arrange a vice president position for your brothers? Looking at the chat history, I laughed along with them. When the timing was right, I would let them know I really was not bragging. The few of us chatted for several minutes before each went back to work. The group quickly quieted down again. I put down my phone and looked at the empty grand living room. Suddenly, I felt bored too. A house of over 1,000 square meters. I lived in it alone. It was so quiet it was a little frightening. I walked around the house. A thin layer of dust had already settled on the tabletop. The bathrooms and showers also needed cleaning. Such a big place, and I was supposed to clean it myself? Even working for an entire day might not be enough. I directly contacted the property management. Hello, I'm the owner of the 23rd floor in building number 3. Hello, Mr. Jing. Do you offer housekeeping and cleaning services? The property staff was clearly stunned for a moment. Housekeeping? Yes. The house is too big. I can't clean it all by myself. Mr. Jing, most of the owners in our community have long-term private butler teams they cooperate with. If you need one, we can recommend a professional butler company to you. A butler team? I was a little surprised. So this really was how rich people lived? Sure. Help me contact one. Of course. A few minutes later, the property management called back. Mr. Jing, the butler company will contact you directly shortly. May I ask what time is convenient for you? Any time today. After hanging up, I immediately asked the system, does the cost of hiring a butler count as living expenses? It belongs to normal living expenses. It can be counted towards system upgrade experience. I smiled. That's good. But the system continued. The host should gradually come into contact with higher-level lifestyles and broaden his horizons. Do not think that the wealth you currently possess is already a lot. In the broader world, the host can currently only be considered as having just escaped poverty. My smile instantly stiffened. 800 million in cash. A house worth over 100 million. A sports car worth tens of millions. A major shareholder of a 100 billion yuan group. You call this just escaping poverty? Yes. The system answered without any hesitation. You really know how to hit where it hurts. I was about to continue arguing when an unfamiliar number called in. Hello. May I ask if this is Mr. Jing from the 23rd floor of building number 3 at World's Finest Residence? That's me. Hello. I am the person in charge of Shungan Private Butler Company. The property manager said you need butler services. May I ask what specific requirements you have? This is my first time dealing with this kind of thing. I sat down on the sofa. Introduce it to me first. Of course. The other party immediately explained. We currently have 5 service tiers. The most basic is regular cleaning and daily necessities procurement. The highest level is a private butler team, which can be stationed long-term in your residence and take charge of daily living, food, security protection, health management, vehicle driving, and schedule arrangements. I became interested as I listened. What kind of people can the highest level team include? It can be customized according to the owner's needs, including a private butler, executive assistant, Chinese and Western cuisine chefs, dedicated driver, bodyguards, doctor, nurse, nutritionist, stylist, and so on. If you have higher security requirements, 5 to 10 security personnel can also be arranged. It was indeed professional. I glanced at the large apartment. With this many rooms, housing an entire team would be more than enough. I'll state my requirements. Please go ahead. 1 butler, responsible for overall coordination and management of everyone. 1 chef, 1 driver, 1 private doctor, 3 bodyguards, and 1 personal assistant. There was a brief pause on the other end of the call. Mr. Jing, as it happens, we currently have a mature team whose personnel configuration is basically the same as your requirements. This team has long served high-net-worth clients, has a very high level of coordination, and can begin work immediately. What about the cost? The team's annual service fee is 2 million yuan. In addition, our company charges a 100,000 yuan introduction and management fee. 2,100,000. It could increase system experience and solve my living problems. Not expensive. I'll take them. Can they begin work today? The other party clearly had not expected me to make a decision so quickly. Today? Yes. The sooner, the better. The team has just arrived in Luo City. If you confirm, we can arrange for them to come to your residence this afternoon and communicate with you face-to-face. That works. I'll transfer the 100,000 yuan agency fee to you once they arrive. As for the team's salary, I'll discuss it directly with the butler. No problem. The call ended. I looked at the empty house and suddenly felt a little uneasy. Was it reliable to have so many people move in at once? Would my assets be in danger? But on second thought, my true core asset was the system. No one could steal the system. Even if something happened to other things, accountability could still be pursued. Moreover, a butler company capable of serving top-tier owners must have strict background checks and insurance mechanisms. At exactly 5 in the afternoon, the doorbell rang. I opened the monitor. The property manager stood outside the door with 6 security guards. Behind them was an orderly team. Men and women, all dressed formally. They're here. I opened the door. The property manager stepped forward first. Mr. Jing, these individuals claim to be the service team sent by the butler company. We verified the visitor information and specially brought them up. I called them. I swept my eyes over the doorway. Good heavens. Even the property security guards had sent 6 people, completely blocking the entrance. Sorry for the trouble. You're too kind, Mr. Jing. After confirming everything was safe, the property manager immediately left with his people. I stepped aside. Come in, everyone. The woman at the front of the team walked into the living room. She looked to be in her 30s. Her hair was flawlessly neat, and she wore a sharply tailored business outfit. Her gaze was steady, and her movements were clean and efficient. The others followed quietly behind her. They did not look around randomly, nor did they touch any of my things. The woman took the initiative to extend her hand to me. Hello, Mr. Jing. I am the private butler sent by the butler company. My name is Fan Xiaoying. They are all members of my team. They arrived in Luo City with me today. I shook her hand. Hello, Sister Fan. Don't just stand there. Sit down first. The team members did not immediately move. Instead, they first looked toward Fan Xiaoying. Fan Xiaoying gave a slight nod, and only then did they sit down one after another. With just this one detail, I could see her control over the team. I sat opposite them and spoke directly. I don't know much about how private butlers work, but right now, I do indeed need a team. Sister Fan, introduce yourself first. Fan Xiaoying did not rush to boast about her qualifications. She first took a stack of documents out of her file bag and placed them in front of me with both hands. Mr. Jing, before the introduction, you may first review our identity materials, work certificates, certificates of no criminal record, and health certificates. The information for every team member is inside. In addition, we have signed confidentiality agreements with the Butler Company. If we leak your privacy during service or cause property losses to you, we will bear legal responsibility. Professional enough. I opened the documents. Photographic memory immediately took effect. After just one glance, the information of all 8 people entered my mind. Fan Xiaoying, 34 years old. Trained in International Professional Butler Service. 12 years of experience. Had long served wealthy families overseas. Proficient in multiple languages, etiquette management, asset inventory management, and team coordination. I looked up at her. Your resume is impressive. Fan Xiaoying's expression remained calm. A resume can only prove the past. Whether I can satisfy you depends on our future service. I nodded. Continue. She raised her hand and first introduced the middle-aged man seated on the left. This is the team chef, Zhou Wei. He specializes in Chinese cuisine and has also studied Western cuisine and nutritional meal planning. Zhou Wei nodded toward me. Mr. Jing, you can directly tell me what flavors you like. Light flavors, Sichuan Hunan cuisine, Cantonese cuisine, northern dishes. I can make them all. I'm not picky. I answered very directly. As long as it tastes good. Understood. Fan Xiaoying then looked toward another person. This is the dedicated driver, Gao Cheng. He has many years of experience driving business vehicles and high-performance vehicles. He has also undergone defensive driving training. Gao Cheng stood up. Mr. Jing, can you drive a 918? Yes. His answer did not contain the slightest hesitation. Supercars, sedans, business vehicles, and off-road vehicles are all no problem. Good. I looked at the next person. This is the private doctor, Shen Wenshan. 55 years old, formerly the director of the emergency department at a grade A tertiary hospital. Shen Wenshan wore glasses and had a gentle temperament. Mr. Jing, later I will first establish a health file for you, including diet, sleep, exercise, and past medical history. The corner of my mouth twitched slightly. I'm 22. I still need a file. The earlier it is established, the more valuable it is. Shen Wenshan pushed up his glasses. When many problems appear, it is already too late. Fine. I'll listen to you. Fan Xiaoying continued introducing them. The 3 security personnel are Wei Dong, Chen Feng, and Lei Ming. The 3 tall men stood up at the same time. They did not exaggeratedly show off their muscles, nor did they deliberately put on fierce expressions. But the moment they stood up, the atmosphere in the entire living room clearly changed. Wei Dong spoke first. Mr. Jing, we are responsible for residential and travel security. Without your permission, we will not interfere with your private life. But if danger appears, we will prioritize ensuring your personal safety. Good. Finally, there was a young woman in her 20s. This is your personal assistant, Qin Nuo. Qin Nuo placed a tablet in front of her knees. Mr. Jing, from now on, your schedule, meetings, appointments, documents, and temporary affairs can be handed over to me. I leaned against the sofa and swept my gaze over everyone. Chef, driver, doctor, bodyguards, assistant, butler. This lineup was even more complete than I had imagined. I'll state my requirements first. Everyone immediately looked at me. First, loyalty. Second, confidentiality. Third, don't drag your feet when doing things. I don't like nonsense, and I don't like anyone making decisions on my behalf without authorization. Fan Xiaoying nodded. Understood. But I also have one principle. She raised her head and looked straight at me. If your orders clearly endanger your personal safety, we will raise objections. If the situation is urgent, we will ensure your safety first, then explain to you afterward. I smiled. That's acceptable. As long as you're not using protection as an excuse to control me. We will not. Also, I pointed around the apartment. There are many rooms here. You may live here. If you need any equipment or daily necessities, List them directly. Buy anything reasonable. You don't need to ask me about every single purchase. But all expenses must be recorded. Fan Xiaoying immediately replied. That is a basic requirement. The team will produce a daily expense list and summarize it for you weekly. We will also register and catalog important items in the residence. Good. I picked up my phone. The annual salary is 2 million, right? Yes. How should it be paid? Monthly or quarterly are both fine. What about paying for the whole year at once? Fan Xiaoying looked at me. That is also possible. Then I'll settle the whole year at once. I directly entered the amount. 2 million yuan, transferred. Immediately after, I paid another 100,000 yuan service fee to the butler company. The system prompt sounded right away. Valid living expense, 2.1 million yuan. System experience value increased. The corner of my mouth lifted. Hiring people could also upgrade the system. Comfortable. Fan Xiaoying confirmed the payment had arrived, but she did not show excessive surprise. She simply stood up and gave me a slight bow. Mr. Jing, from this moment onward, the team will officially serve you. The others stood up at the same time. Mr. Jing, we look forward to working with you. Looking at the 8 people standing before me, I suddenly felt a sense of unreality. A few days ago, I had still been living in a rental room of a few dozen square meters. I had to check prices before eating. I wore clothes until they were torn and still could not bear to replace them. Now, I lived in a house worth over 100 million. I had a butler, chef, doctor, driver, and bodyguards by my side. This was not a dream. This was my life. Fan Xiaoying had already entered work mode. Mr. Jing, I need to confirm a few things first. Ask, does the residence currently have a complete security system? I don't know. Who purchases daily food ingredients? No one. How many vehicles do you have in total? 1918. Do you have any fixed schedule in the near future? I need to go to Tianhai Group next week. Also, I need to study a large volume of group materials recently. Qin Nua immediately recorded it. Fan Xiaoying continued asking, do you need us to add a business vehicle for you? I thought about it. The 918 was handsome, yes. But it was indeed inconvenient for carrying people. Yes. List a few options first. Also, fill up the study for me. Finance, management, law, hotels, tourism, foreign trade, and real estate-related books. I want them all. Qin Nuo raised her head. Mr. Jing, which category would you like to start with? I looked at her and answered decisively. All of them. She froze. All of them. Yes. I pointed at the empty study. Send over every professional book you can buy. The sooner, the better. Fan Xiaoying did not question me. She only nodded. Qin Nuo, organize the book list tonight. Complete the first batch of purchases by noon tomorrow. Gao Cheng, check the vehicle condition. Wei Dong, the 3 of you inspect the residence's security. Dr. Shen, prepare the health file. Master Zhou, inspect the kitchen and make a procurement list. Orders were issued rapidly one after another. Everyone immediately moved into action. No nonsense. No delay. In less than a minute, the enormous apartment began operating. I leaned against the sofa, watching them each get busy, and suddenly smiled. This was a professional team. Money well spent. Fan Xiaoying did not leave, however. She stood before me and asked seriously, Mr. Jing, there is one final question. What? What is the issue you most want to solve right now? I put away my smile. Tianwen Residential Complex had already been bought. The stocks had also been entered. Tianhai Group was still waiting for me to officially take over. And what I lacked most now was not money. It was ability. It was vision. It was the capital to make everyone truly submit to me. I stood up and looked out the window. I want to master all of Tianhai Group's businesses in the shortest possible time. I'm going to the company next week. I don't want anyone to treat me as a fool who only knows how to spend money. Fan Xiaoying followed my gaze toward the study. Understood. Then starting tonight, your schedule needs to be rearranged. Eat first, then study. Rest before 11. Get up at 7 tomorrow morning, have a physical examination, exercise, then handle work. I turned back to look at her. That's strict. You spent 2 million hiring us, not so we could watch you waste time. Her answer was calm, but she did not back down in the slightest. I froze for 2 seconds, then laughed out loud. Fine. We'll do as you say, but add one more thing for tonight. Please go ahead. I picked up Tianhai Group's materials and threw them directly onto the table. A thick stack. Send all of these into the study. Tonight, I'll finish reading them first. Fan Xiaoying lowered her head and glanced at them. All of them. All of them. I walked toward the study without looking back. From now on, I'm going to start learning how to become a real boss. I sized up the team in front of me. The woman at the front was in her 40s, dressed in a sharp business suit. Her long hair was tied into a ponytail, and her makeup was very light, but her presence was extremely steady. She was Fan Xiaoying. Behind her stood 3 burly men. Their jackets were almost bursting from their muscles. No guessing needed, they were definitely bodyguards. Beside them was a man with a slightly stout figure and a thick neck, most likely the chef. There was also a middle-aged man wearing gold-rimmed glasses, his expression serious, carrying a medical kit in his hand. That box seemed to be reminding me, if anything went wrong with my body, he could give me an injection at any time. The remaining 2 consisted of a refined young woman, probably the assistant. The other had a square face and looked honest and steady. He was probably the driver. Fan Xiaoying was the first to speak. Mr. Jing, all team members are here. These 3 are responsible for private security. This is the chef, this is the private doctor, this is the driver, and this is your personal assistant. I am responsible for coordinating the entire team and also serve as your private butler. She pushed a contract in front of me. Our team's annual salary is 2 million yuan. We are responsible for handling your daily life, travel, safety, and health matters. However, the operations and decisions within your company are not within our scope of responsibility. I flipped through the contract. How is the salary paid? Monthly, quarterly, or yearly are all acceptable. Fan Xiaoying looked at me. It depends on your payment habits. Then yearly. I put down the contract. Saves trouble. Fan Xiaoying was clearly somewhat surprised, but she quickly provided the account. Mr. Jing, you may transfer the team's salary to me. I will distribute it to the other members every month according to the contract. Sistering, send me the account number. She was slightly startled. You still want to call me Sistering? Yes. I looked at her. You don't need to keep saying you so formally all the time either. It sounds distant. I don't have parents. When I was young, people close to me all called me Xiaochen. If you don't mind, you can call me that too. Fan Xiaoying immediately shook her head. That would not be proper. From today onward, you are our employer. According to our team's past habits, we should address you as Young Master. Young Master? My expression stiffened. Why did that title sound so strange? Like the title from some not-so-proper profession. But Fan Xiaoying's attitude was serious, and the others did not seem to be joking either. Fine. Call me whatever feels natural to you. I took out my phone, first transferred the 2 million yuan annual salary, then paid the butler company the 100,000 yuan agency fee. After thinking for a moment, I transferred another 3 million yuan to Fan Xiaoying. When she saw the payment notification, her eyes finally changed. Young Master, this 3 million is for? Daily expenses. I arranged directly. You've just arrived in Luo City. It's inconvenient not to have cars. Tomorrow, buy 2 cars and 2 parking spaces. One for grocery shopping, procurement, and errands. One should be a business vehicle, convenient for when there are many people going out. Use the remaining money to purchase daily necessities. Fan Xiaoying looked at me and did not immediately reply. What's wrong? Young Master, we have not yet completed the full handover. You are giving me 5 million yuan just like this. Aren't you afraid we'll take the money and leave? I smiled. Your identity documents, company qualifications, and the contract are all here. If you really ran away for 3 million yuan, that would be looking down on yourselves too much. Besides, I leaned back against the sofa. Employ without suspicion. Since I've decided to keep you, I choose to trust you. Fan Xiaoying looked deeply at me. Understood. We will list every expenditure clearly and accept your inspection at any time. No problem. I picked up my phone. Don't cook today. Let's all eat together and get to know each other. Just tell me what you want to eat. We'll follow Young Master's arrangements. I asked each person about their taste preferences and ordered a large table of takeout. While waiting for the food delivery, the others began inspecting the rooms. Fan Xiaoying held a tablet and registered my belongings one by one. Before long, she came before me. Young Master, the preliminary registration of items in the residence has been completed. Apart from the wristwatch you are wearing, The main personal items of relatively high value are clothing and skincare products. The furniture belongs to the original configuration of the house. This is the list. Please confirm. I glanced over it. Is it necessary to be this detailed? It is necessary. Fan Xiaoying answered very seriously. In the future, any newly added valuable items in the home will be registered. If team members cause property loss due to negligence, we will compensate according to responsibility. Fine. Handle it as you see fit. I handed the tablet back to her. Tomorrow, in addition to buying cars, also complete the kitchenware and medical equipment. Buy whatever the home is lacking. If the money isn't enough, tell me. Don't affect normal use just to save money. Fan Xiaoying nodded. Thank you for your trust, young master. I'm the one who should thank you. With such a large apartment, living here alone, I didn't even know where to begin cleaning. The doorbell soon rang. The takeout had arrived. I called everyone to sit down. Eat first. After eating, choose your own rooms. There happen to be 8 livable rooms here, 1 for each person. But the bed in the children's room is too small. Replace it tomorrow. Fan Xiaoying stopped me. Young master, the children's room can be temporarily kept. When you marry and have children in the future, it can still be used. How long would that take? I waved my hand. Replace it first. If I develop in other cities in the future, I'll just buy a bigger house. We'll arrange a children's room again then. For now, make do with this. Everyone fell silent at the same time. A top-tier luxury flat worth over 100 million yuan and exceeding 1,000 square meters in area had become making do in my mouth. If those who could not afford homes heard this, they would probably curse me on the spot. Soon, 9 people sat around one table. The atmosphere slowly relaxed as well. The 3 bodyguards were biological brothers. The eldest was Wang Zhong. The second was Wang Yi. The third was Wang Wu. Their family background was not good, so when they were young, they were sent to Shaolin to learn martial arts. Later, they received professional security training. I looked at the 3 of them. When biological brothers fight together, is the coordination especially strong? Wang Zhong answered very directly. Under normal circumstances, a dozen or so people would not be able to get close to young master. Good. I nodded. Ruthless enough. The private doctor was named Fan Xijing, Fan Xiaoying's biological younger brother. The chef was named Li Yuanyi and was proficient in multiple cuisines. After hearing that I liked sweet flavors, he immediately took out his phone to take notes. Young master, I'll remake the menu tonight. Sweets can be arranged, but you can't eat too much. Why? It affects health. Are you in league with the doctor? Fan Xijing pushed up his glasses. When it comes to protecting your body, we are all in the same league. I had nothing to say. The driver was named Xin Yuan. He had once been a professional racing driver, but later withdrew from the racing circuit because of an accident and had not competed since. I did not ask further. Everyone had a past they did not want to mention. The last one was my personal assistant, Fan Tingjia. She was the daughter of Fan Xiaoying's older brother. After this round of introductions, I finally understood. Most of the people in this team were related by blood, and they seemed to have served some major family for a long time in the past. As for why they had left together, they did not say, and I did not ask. As long as they worked for me now, that was enough. After dinner, everyone busied themselves with their own work. Fan Tingjia came to my side holding a tablet. Young master, are there any work matters you need handed over? Not for now. I thought for a moment. There should be many in the future. If you can't handle it alone, I'll assign more secretaries to you. Understood. I suddenly asked her. Tingjia, how old are you? 26. What was your major? Master's in Business Administration from Tsinghua University. I froze for 2 seconds. Tsinghua? Yes. And a master's? Yes. I looked at her, then looked at the others. This team seemed even more professional than I had imagined. 2 million yuan annual salary? I had underpaid them. I stood up and found Fan Xiaoying. Sister Ying. Young master, do you have any instructions? From now on, your salary will increase by 500,000 yuan every year. As soon as I finished speaking, I felt it was not enough. Is 500,000 too little? Forget it. It'll increase by 1 million every year. That's settled. Without waiting for her to refuse, I turned and left. Fan Xiaoying froze in place. Ting Ting, what did you say to young master just now? Nothing. Fan Tingjia looked innocent. Young master asked what school and major I studied. So I said Tsinghua. Masters in Business Administration. Fan Xiaoying understood. It seems this little young master really does value us. Let's go. Allocate the rooms first. There is still a lot to do tomorrow. Fan Tinjia nodded. Got it, Aunt. Early the next morning, I was awakened by the aroma of food. I opened my eyes and stared blankly at the ceiling for a while. Someone had made breakfast. This feeling was very unfamiliar. For the past 22 years, after waking up, I either did not eat or just made do by myself. This was the first time someone had placed a hot breakfast in front of me in advance. I walked out of the bedroom. Fan Xiaoying was placing side dishes on the dining table. Young master is awake. Yuan prepared a Chinese breakfast today. Soy milk, fried dough sticks, steamed buns, porridge, and several side dishes. Try them first. If the taste doesn't suit you, it can be adjusted. I sat down and checked the time. Almost 9 o'clock. Have you all eaten? Yes. Each member of the team has fixed wake-up and shift times. Fan Xiaoying served me a bowl of porridge. What plans does young master have today? Nothing in the morning. I took a bite of a steamed bun. Oh right. Aren't you going to buy cars today? Yes. I have a university roommate who works as a salesperson at a Mercedes-Benz dealership. I opened my phone and sent her Li Jiekai's number. Go buy from him. Help boost his performance. No problem. I then sent Li Jiekai a WeChat message. A friend will go to your dealership to buy a car today. She'll contact you before going over. Li Jiekai quickly replied. Really buying? Has the model been decided? If the deal goes through, I'll split half the commission with you. I immediately refused. Cut it out. She's your customer, and it's your commission. If you dare transfer money to me, I won't acknowledge you as my brother. Li Jiekai replied with a string of laughing emojis. After breakfast, Fan Xiaoying asked me, Young master, buying cars requires registration information. Your ID documents. Use your name. I decided directly. Those 2 cars are meant for you to use anyway. 1 sedan and 1 business vehicle. Convenient for procurement, pickups, drop-offs, and traveling with multiple people. Fan Xiaoying did not put on false modesty. Understood. She left with Fan Tinjia and Shun Yuan. Fan Xijing also went out to purchase medicine and medical equipment. The 3 bodyguards stayed behind and took turns on duty. At 9:30 a.m., the stock market opened. As soon as I opened the trading software, my phone began vibrating wildly. In the university dormitory group, Zhao Qianhao had sent more than 10 messages in a row. He was still constantly tagging me. Old Fourth, get out here. The stocks you mentioned yesterday hit limit up. Bai Shishao followed right after. Seriously? I thought he was joking yesterday. Zhao Qianhao sent a screenshot of his account. I bought 20,000 yuan. It hit limit up right after market open. I directly made 2,000 yuan. Li Jiekai also joined the chat. Old Fourth also introduced me to a customer today. She just contacted me and will arrive soon. Bai Shishao immediately asked, Xingchen, what exactly is going on with you? Recently you changed clothes, recommended stocks, and introduced customers. I smiled as I looked at the messages. Inside information. There may be more this afternoon. If you want to follow, buy only a little. Don't rush in with all your savings. Zhao Qianhao immediately replied, Old Fourth, did you actually put our finance knowledge from university to use? No. I replied, the little stuff we learned in university is too basic once you enter the market. Bai Shishao deeply agreed. That's true. We studied finance for years, yet after graduation, hardly any of us work in matching fields. I closed the chat and opened my own securities account. For stocks, all limit up. With 4 million yuan in principal, I had made nearly 400,000 in a single day. Looking at that string of profit numbers, I still could not suppress my excitement. The system's skill was too fierce, and this was only the beginning. As long as I controlled my position size every day and earned steadily, the funds would quickly roll upward. But compared with stocks, I was even more looking forward to Tianwen Residential Complex. Next week, the demolition news would land. More than 6,000 homes. According to Luo City's demolition compensation standards, how much money would that be? I was not familiar with demolition, so I had to understand it in advance to avoid being fooled later. I directly called Guan Jing. President Guan, are you busy? Not especially. Her tone was very flat. Boss, is there something you need? I could hear it. Guan Jing did not have much respect for me, her newly airborne boss. That was normal too. She had struggled for many years at Tianhai Group. and I was 22 years old. Without showing any achievements, I had taken 79% of the shares. Then, I had spent over 600 million yuan buying a whole area of dangerous buildings that no one was optimistic about. In her eyes, I was probably a prodigal son with money but no brains. It did not matter. Very soon, her view would change. There's something I don't understand. I want to ask you. Please go ahead, boss. If old residential buildings are demolished, how is the compensation usually calculated? The other end of the call went silent for a moment. Under normal circumstances, it will refer to the property area, location, market price, and the specific compensation plan. Currently, the average housing price in Luo City is around 15,000 yuan per square meter. Usually, it will ensure that after receiving compensation, the relocated residents have the ability to purchase homes again in other areas. I almost laughed out loud. 15,000 per square meter? More or less. That's wonderful. Guanjing immediately realized what I meant. Boss, you don't truly believe Tianwen residential complex is going to be demolished, do you? Let's not talk about that first. I did not explain. Has anything happened at the company recently? Not for now. I can handle the group's daily affairs. Her answer was very confident. I nodded. If you run into anything you can't solve, come to me anytime. Yes, boss. After hanging up, I sold the stocks that had hit limit up. Next, it was time to continue upgrading the system. The level 3 system had given me 10 million yuan. Yesterday, paying the butler team's salary and reserve fund had cost a total of 5 million. I still had 5 million left. But for a moment, I actually did not know what to buy. The system suddenly said, "Host is truly stupid. You don't even know how to spend money." My expression darkened. Are you looking down on me? The system is not looking down on the host. It is only stating a fact. The host possesses photographic memory, yet does not know to actively study. The host possesses a large amount of spending funds, yet does not know to improve his lifestyle and broaden his horizons. This is waste. I was left speechless by it. You're right. I'll go to the library first. When I was in university, I was very interested in securities. But back then, I was busy working part-time and had no time to attend classes seriously. Now that I have the ability, I might as well learn it again properly. I picked up the car keys and went out. The red 918 drove out of world's finest residence. I did not notice that Wang Zhong and Wang Yi also followed me out. They did not have a car and could only temporarily hail one, following behind me the whole way. After arriving at Luo City Library, I found a quiet seat. Financial markets, securities investment, business management, risk control, macroeconomics. I piled related books across the entire table. The ability of photographic memory came into play again. One page swept past. All the content was imprinted into my mind. 1 book, 2 books, 3 books. Books that would take others days or even months to finish, I read in only a few hours. And I did not merely remember the words. I could also quickly understand the logic within them. The knowledge I had touched upon in university was rapidly connected together at this moment. Many professional terms I once could not understand also gained new meaning. By the time I put down the last book, the sky outside had already darkened. I returned the books and walked out of the library. But as soon as I reached the entrance, I saw Wang Zhong and Wang Yi standing not far away. "Why are you two here?" I walked over. "Here to read too?" Wang Zhong answered. "Young master, we are responsible for protecting you nearby." I then realized, "You've been following me since morning?" "Yes." "Then did you eat lunch?" The two did not answer. One look and I understood. "You definitely didn't. Come on, let's find somewhere to eat." But Wang Yi reminded me. "Young master, Yuan has already prepared dinner at home. I heard it's French cuisine." I slapped my forehead. "Right. I have a chef now." After living alone for 22 years, suddenly having a team around me truly took some getting used to. I had subconsciously gone out by myself, completely forgetting there were people following me. "Let's go home first." I handed the car key to Wang Zhong. "You drive." Wang Zhong took the key. "Wang Yi will take a taxi back. I'll be responsible for taking young master home." I frowned. "Let him take a taxi again?" Wang Yi immediately explained. "This is a security arrangement. Young master does not need to mind." I got into the passenger seat and closed my eyes. On the way back, I used the day's stock market prediction. New stock codes appeared in my mind. After recording them, I picked one and sent it into the dormitory group chat. New information. Watch this one tomorrow. Zhao Qianhao replied instantly. Received. I'll buy more this time. Bai Shao also appeared. I didn't believe you yesterday. Today, I'm following. Don't go all in. I reminded them. Making money is fine, but don't gamble with your life. At this moment, Li Jiekai sent a message. Xingchen, thank you so much. Your friend came over without a word of nonsense and directly picked up 2 cars, 1 business vehicle and 1 sedan. When my commission comes next month, I must give you half. I refused again. Don't transfer it. You sold the cars with your own ability, so the commission is yours. If someone around me wants to buy cars in the future, I'll introduce them to you again. The brothers chatted enthusiastically in the group. I suddenly thought of a question. System, if I have a girlfriend in the future and spend money on her, does that count toward upgrade experience? Living expenses within a normal romantic relationship can be counted. My eyes lit up. What about the butler team? As long as they provide services for the host's normal life, it can also be counted. I smiled. It seemed I had found a way to upgrade quickly. After returning home, the dining room was already filled with a French feast. Steak, foie gras, baked escargot, and a whole cheese lobster. Young master is back. Fan Xiaoying was checking today's purchases. Li Yuanyi brought out the final dish from the kitchen. Wang Yi notified me in advance. The temperature is just right. Young master may dine now. I looked at the table full of food. How am I supposed to eat this much alone? You all eat with me. Fan Xiaoying immediately spoke. Young master, we have rules. During working hours, we cannot dine at the same table as the employer. What kind of lousy rule is that? I directly interrupted her. In my home, my rules are the biggest. Sit down. If the food can't be finished, that's a waste too. A few of them were still hesitating. I pointed at the seats. Sit. You've been busy all day. Are you planning to stand there and watch me eat? In the end, they were still pressed by me into sitting at the dining table. As I ate, I asked, Sistering, how much did we spend today? 2 cars, license plate procedures, 2 parking spaces, plus daily necessities and some equipment. The total is 2.26 million yuan. She placed the detailed list before me. Currently, there is 740,000 yuan of reserve fund remaining. If it's not enough, tell me. I looked at the bodyguards. Today was my oversight. I drove out by myself, causing Wang Zhong and Wang Yi to take taxis and follow me all the way. How about this? I'll buy each of you a car too. Everyone at the table froze. Fan Xiaoying immediately stopped me. That is unnecessary. Young master, the 2 work vehicles are currently enough for the team. 1 car for each person is completely unnecessary. Wealth does not come easily. Even if you have money, you cannot waste it casually. I looked at her. Honestly, the feeling of having someone save money for me was rather strange. Fine. I'll listen to you. We'll buy more if needed in the future. I ate a bite of lobster and changed the topic. Sistering, I want to establish an investment company. Would it be better to place it in Luo City? Or would Shanghai or the capital be more suitable? Fan Xiaoying did not rush to answer. It depends on the investment scope and capital scale. For now, I plan to do securities. If you only do the secondary market and the scale is not large, Luo City is enough. But if young master wants to do venture capital, angel investing, or search for higher quality startup projects in the future, Shanghai and the capital are more suitable. The density of capital, projects, and talent there is far higher than in Luo City. I nodded. Understood. Luo City is still too small. Fan Xiaoying looked at me. What work does young master mainly do right now? Nothing fixed. I answered casually. I have a company under my name, but I usually don't manage it much. Recently, I also bought a batch of old houses and am waiting for demolition. Old houses. Yes. The property certificate is in the drawer of my bedside table. Fan Xiaoying's expression changed. Young master, you said a batch? And it's a joint property rights certificate? Yes. She sat up straight. Centralized joint property rights documents were usually only used when the transaction volume was enormous. Young master, may I ask how many units you bought? I took a sip of water. Not many. Just over 6,000 units. Clack. Someone's fork fell onto a plate. The dining table instantly went silent. How many? Fan Tingjia suspected she had misheard. Over 6,000 units. I repeated it. A total of 117 buildings. The procedures were completed a few days ago. Fan Xijing's hand froze midway while pushing up his glasses. Li Yuanyi also forgot to continue cutting his steak. The three Wang brothers looked at one another. Their understanding of my financial strength was forcibly raised by another large margin. In the end, Wang Zhong gave me a thumbs up. Young master. Impressive. What's impressive about that? I waved my hand. They're all unwanted old, run-down apartments. They aren't worth much for now. For now. Fan Xiaoying keenly caught the key point. Young master believes that place will appreciate. You'll know very soon. I did not explain. The existence of the system could not be told to anyone. Fan Xiaoying did not continue asking either. She took out her tablet. Young master, there is one more matter I need to report to you. On the 10th of next month, Luo City's Haoqing Hotel will host a large auction. The auction items include antiques, jewelry, artworks, and shares in some small companies. Are you interested in attending? Auction. I became interested. In the past, such events only existed on TV and in novels. Now I was qualified to enter as well. How do I get an invitation? Purchase one. How much? Each basic invitation costs 2 million yuan. I almost thought I had misheard. 2 million just to enter? This 2 million is not purely a ticket fee. Fan Xiaoying explained. After entering the auction, it can directly offset an equivalent auction payment. If you win an item worth 5 million yuan, you only need to pay an additional 3 million yuan. That's more like it. I continued asking. You mentioned a basic invitation. Are there advanced ones too? Yes. A basic invitation can only sit behind the fourth row. The first 3 rows belong to VIP seats, and each row has a different price. Basic invitations are unlimited. For the VIP invitations in the first 3 rows, each person can purchase at most 3. What are the prices? Third row, 5 million yuan per invitation. Second row, 8 million yuan per invitation. First row, 12 million yuan per invitation. I raised an eyebrow. 12 million yuan for one invitation? Yes. There are only 12 seats in the first row. Although Luo City is not considered a top-tier city, those qualified to sit in the first row are the most core local tycoons and entrepreneurs. Fan Xiaoying looked at me. Which row would young master like to sit in? I did not answer immediately and instead called the system in my mind. System, does buying auction invitations count as living expenses? Yes. After receiving the answer, I smiled. 12 million for one invitation. It allowed me to attend the auction, offset auction payments, and quickly raise system experience. What kind of invitation was this? This was clearly an upgrade item tailor-made for me. Sister Ing, young master, the first row invitations can be bought up to 3, right? Yes. Then buy 3. The dining table went silent again. Fan Xiaoying reminded me. 3 first-row invitations require 36 million yuan. I know, but contact the organizer first. I put down my cutlery, my tone decisive. 1 for me, 1 for you, and 1 for Tinjia. Fan Tinjia pointed at herself. I'm going to. You're my assistant. I looked at her. In the future, of course you have to follow me to such occasions. Sister Ing will be responsible for helping me judge what's worth buying. You'll be responsible for recording and handling the procedures. I picked up my phone. It's only 36 million. The seats must be at the very front. I'm spending money not so I can hide behind the crowd and watch the show. I want everyone in Luo City to know. Jing Xingchen have arrived. I calculated silently in my heart. After buying cars and various things, the money I could use was already less than 10 million. 3 first-row invitations would cost 36 million. For the time being, I really could not afford them. Of course, after the demolition payment arrived, or after the system upgraded again, that would be another matter. Sister Ing, I'll reply to you about this later. I'm not sure yet whether I'll have other arrangements in a few days. Fan Xiaoying nodded. That's fine, young master. Just give me a reply before the 8th. At the same time, Tianhai Group also received invitations to the auction. Xiaodian walked into the general manager's office with 2 invitations. President Guan, there will be a large auction at Haoqing Hotel next week. Several prominent figures in Luo City will attend. The organizer gave Tianhai Group 2 seats. Guan Jing accepted the invitations and casually flipped through them. You'll go with me. We can use the opportunity to meet a few old friends and chat. There have been too many things recently. I should relax a little too. But Xiaodan did not leave immediately. What about Mr. Jing? Guan Jing paused, then spoke indifferently. Who would he know if he went? An auction isn't just about having money. It also requires connections and judgment. There's no need to inform him about this. Xiaodan hesitated. But he is the group chairman, after all. The invitations were given to Tianhai Group, not to him personally. Guan Jing raised her head. Is there a problem? No. Xiaodan quickly shook her head. I understand. For the next few days, everything was calm. Every day, I read books, studied stocks, and spent time familiarizing myself with Tianhai Group's businesses. However, that auction remained on my mind. If I was really going to attend, I could not drive an ordinary business vehicle there. The 918 had presence, but it could seat 2 people at most. I still needed to bring my butler, assistant, and bodyguards. Sister Ing, young master, for an occasion like an auction, what kind of car is generally suitable? If you need to travel with multiple people, you can equip yourself with a high-end business vehicle. Your current business vehicle has no problem meeting daily use, but for formal business occasions, it is indeed slightly ordinary. Any recommendations? Bentley 7-seat Business Edition. It has enough space, comfort, and presence. I did not hesitate. Buy it. Over 4 million yuan was swiped away, and a brand new Bentley business vehicle entered the garage. The car was ready. Now only money and invitations were lacking. Soon, April arrived. I had always thought the demolition news would only be announced on April 4th. Unexpectedly, on April 1st, the Education District Development Department called Fan Xiaoying. Hello, may I ask if this is Mr. Jing Xingchen? I am Mr. Jing's private butler, Fan Xiaoying. May I ask who you are? We are from Luo City Education District Development Department. According to the property records, Mr. Jing currently holds a total of 6,318 properties in Tianwen Residential Complex on 3rd Street, 4th Street, and 5th Street of Manhwa Road. Yes, we just received official notice. Tianwen Residential Complex is about to begin demolition and redevelopment. Mr. Jing is the actual owner of the properties in this area. We would like to arrange a meeting with him to discuss demolition compensation. Fan Xiaoying's eyes changed. Please wait a moment. I'll pass the message along immediately. She hung up and quickly found me. Young master, the Education District Development Department contacted you. They said Tianwen Residential Complex has officially been confirmed for demolition. I had been prepared for this, but I still could not help laughing. It had finally come. When do we talk? The time and place are up to you. Then tomorrow morning at 10:30. I thought for a moment. Luo City International Hotel Cafe. Understood. I'll reply immediately. The meeting time was quickly confirmed. The next morning, Shen Yuan drove the newly bought Bentley business vehicle and took me, Fan Xiaoying, Fan Tingjia, and the 2 bodyguards Wang Yi and Wang Wu out. The Bentley stopped at the entrance of Luo City International Hotel. Shen Yuan got out first. The 2 bodyguards stood on the left and right. Fan Tingjia held the documents, and Sister Ing followed beside me. As soon as I entered the cafe, 2 men in charge of the negotiations came up to greet me. They had clearly checked my information, and they knew I alone held more than 6,000 properties. Hello, Mr. Jing. The man at the front took the initiative to extend his hand. I'm Zhang Chong, the person in charge of this demolition negotiation. This is Manhwa. Mr. Jing is truly young and accomplished. To have such a large property portfolio at such a young age is truly admirable. I shook hands with them. Sit. Both sides sat down. Zhang Chong still wanted to exchange pleasantries, but I interrupted him directly. Mr. Zhang, let's talk price. My time is limited. Zhang Chong's smile stiffened slightly. All right, Mr. Jing is straightforward. Then I'll be direct too. He took out the documents. Tianwen Residential Complex is very old, and many houses are already approaching the standard for dangerous buildings. The renovation area is also very large, and the funds that can be approved from above are indeed limited. I looked at him. Continue. After comprehensive evaluation, the compensation we can offer is 7,000 yuan per square meter. I smiled. Mr. Zhang, are you here to negotiate or to amuse me? His expression changed slightly. Mr. Jing, the transaction price of the houses in Tianwen Residential Complex is only a little over 800 yuan per square meter. 7,000 yuan is already nearly 10 times that. You can't calculate it that way. I pushed the cup aside. For demolition compensation, you need to consider the property area, the city average price, and the resettlement cost for residents. Not how much I originally spent buying them. I bought them at a low price because of my judgment. That cannot become your reason to push down the price. Manhwa spoke from the side. Mr. Jing, the houses over there really are too old. But they can save you a lot of trouble. I looked at him. 6,318 households, and all property rights are under my name alone. You don't need to negotiate door to door. You don't need to deal with holdouts. Nor do you need to spend months or even years coordinating. As long as I sign, the entire area can be handed over to you immediately. Doesn't all the time and costs saved count as money? The two exchanged a glance. Zhang Chong asked tentatively, then what price does Mr. Jing think is suitable? The current average housing price in Luo City is around 14,500 yuan per square meter. I won't make things difficult for you. Negotiate based on the average price. Zhang Chong shook his head on the spot. That's too high. Mr. Jing, how about 8,000 yuan? I leaned back in the chair. Mr. Zhang, be sincere. This is our bottom line. You gave your bottom line so quickly? I smiled at him. Looks like it can still go lower. Zhang Chong was choked speechless, his face stiffening. He gritted his teeth. 9,000. We really can't go any higher. Fine. I stood up. Since we can't reach an agreement, then let's stop talking. Both of them froze at the same time. Mr. Jing, what do you mean? I buttoned my coat. This land belongs to me now. I also have companies under my name involved in real estate projects. If you're unwilling to demolish it at a reasonable price, then I'll develop it myself. Zhang Chong became anxious. The underground conditions there aren't suitable for building high-rises. I know. I turned to look at him. Not being able to build high-rise residences doesn't mean nothing can be built. Shopping malls, low-rise commercial districts, warehousing centers, there are many projects that can be done. What the area around Manhwa Road lacks most is large-scale commercial support. If I invest another sum myself, I can still revitalize the land. I smiled at the two of them. When the mall opens, I'll definitely invite both of you to cut the ribbon. After saying that, I turned and left. Mr. Jing, wait. Zhang Chong quickly chased after me. The price can still be discussed. I'll call and ask for instructions again. I stopped. Fine. I'll give you one last chance. 14,000 yuan per square meter. This is my lowest price. Not even 1 yuan less. Zhang Chong looked troubled. I truly can't make that decision. That's why I'm telling you to ask for instructions. I sat back down. Go. Zhang Chong took his phone and walked out of the cafe. Manhwa stayed where he was, sweat already appearing on his forehead. He kept saying flattering words, trying to ease the atmosphere. I did not listen at all. I closed my eyes and began calculating system experience. I was still more than 1 million yuan away from the next upgrade. After the negotiation ended, I could buy another watch, and that should be enough. More than 10 minutes later, Zhang Chong finally returned. His expression looked as if he had just been scolded. Mr. Jing, how is it? The leaders agreed. He sighed. 14,000 yuan per square meter. I smiled. Now that's what I call business. Zhang Chong took out a calculator. Mr. Jing, you have a total of 6,318 properties under your name. The total registered property area is 783,432 square meters. At 14,000 yuan per square meter. After pressing the final number, his breathing clearly grew heavier. The total is 10,968,048,000 yuan. Zhang Chong raised his head and looked at me, his voice trembling. Mr. Jing, your demolition compensation this time exceeds 10.9 billion yuan. You may already be the richest man in Luo City. 10.9 billion. When I heard that number, my heart also gave a violent jump. I had bought in for 650 million, then turned it into 10.9 billion. This was no longer investment. This was grabbing money, and grabbing it legally. But I did not show it on my face. I merely nodded. Not bad. The corner of Zhang Chong's eye twitched. 10.9 billion. And in my mouth, it was only not bad. When do we make the transaction? He immediately answered. If it's convenient for you, we can do it now. Let's go. I don't want to drag it out either. Zhang Chong and Ma Huan got into my Bentley business vehicle, and we headed to the transaction center together. This was a project personally instructed from above. The documents had already been fully prepared. I reviewed the contract, confirmed there were no problems, and signed directly. A few minutes later, my phone vibrated. Your Guajian bank account has received 10,968,048,000 yuan. I stared at the absurdly long string of numbers. Adding the remaining money in the account, my cash had already approached 11 billion yuan. System, do you still call this just escaping poverty? After the procedures were completed, Zhang Chong walked over with a face full of smiles. Mr. Jing, next week, Haoqing Hotel will be hosting a large auction. At that time, many entrepreneurs and investors from Luo City will attend. We sincerely hope you will honor us with your presence. He handed over 3 invitations with both hands. I did not immediately take them. Instead, I looked at Fan Xiaoying. Sister Ring stepped forward, accepted them, and opened them to confirm. Her eyes changed slightly. Young master, they are 3 seats in the very center of the first row. Previously, each one had been priced at 12 million. Now, 3 had been directly gifted to me. This was the prestige brought by 10.9 billion yuan. I looked at Zhang Chong. Since Manager Zhang personally invited me, I'll definitely attend. If I run into anything I like that day, I'll buy a few more items. Zhang Chong smiled so widely he could not close his mouth. Mr. Jing is generous. Then we'll see each other next week. See you next week. After leaving the transaction center, I sat in the back row of the Bentley. As soon as the car door closed, I could no longer hold it in. Ha ha ha. Fan Tingjia sat beside me and laughed along as well. Young master, you're incredible. Buying in for over 600 million and selling for 10.9 billion. There probably isn't a second person like you in all of Luo City. I waved my hand, but the corners of my mouth simply would not stay down. Not bad. Normal operation. Sistering looked at me, and her gaze was already completely different. Clearly, she also could not understand how I could have precisely bought the entire Tianwen residential complex in advance. But she did not ask. Young master, where to next? Huawan Shopping Center. I glanced at the system panel. To buy a watch. To change my mood. Xin Yuan immediately started the vehicle. Yes, young master. That afternoon, a piece of news rapidly spread throughout Luo City. Luo City's largest old residential area begins redevelopment. More than 6,300 households in Tianwen residential complex complete unified demolition transaction. In the general manager's office of Tianhai Group, Guan Jing stared at the news without moving. Xiaodan rushed to her desk and placed down her phone. President Guan, it really got demolished. That huge area of old houses Mr. Jing bought really got demolished. I saw it. Guan Jing's voice was a little dry. She remembered what I had said at the entrance of the transaction hall that day while weighing the property certificate in my hand. I won't get to hold this thing for many days before it gets taken away. At that time, she thought I was giving himself an excuse for a foolish investment. Looking at it now, everything had been within my control. Xiaodan quickly calculated. Mr. Jing spent 650 million back then. Based on Luo City's average demolition compensation, the final compensation is at least several billion. It might even exceed 10 billion. Guan Jing said nothing. She only felt her face burning. Again and again, she had tried to persuade me to give up. At the senior management meeting, she had even silently allowed others to mock my judgment. And the result? Reality was like a slap, striking her hard across the face. I judged him wrongly. Guan Jing slowly spoke. He wasn't spending money recklessly. He really knew in advance that the area would definitely be demolished. Xiaodan lowered her voice. President Guan, what exactly is Mr. Jing's background? I don't know. Guan Jing stared at Tianwen residential complex in the news. But he's more terrifying than we imagined. Just then, the office door was suddenly pushed open. Trade Department Manager Lin Shuqin rushed in with a pale face. President Guan, something happened. Guan Jing immediately looked up. What happened? The 2 ships of goods we purchased from Country F sank in the Indian Ocean. What? Guan Jing suddenly stood up. Say that again. Lin Shuqin's voice trembled. The 2 cargo ships encountered severe weather and have been confirmed sunk. The imported cosmetics, food, electronics, and luxury goods on board were all lost. The direct loss exceeds 2 billion yuan. And there are casualties. Guan Jing felt her vision go black. That batch of goods was purchased with bank loans. I know. Lin Shuqin was so anxious she was almost crying. We originally intended to rely on that batch of goods to supply clients for the entire year. Now the goods are gone. The bank loans need to be repaid, and the orders from partners cannot be delivered. Once the news spreads, the entire trade sector will have problems. Guanjing forced herself to calm down. Xiaodan, here, go to the finance department immediately. I need to know all the cash the group can currently mobilize. At the same time, contact cooperative media outlets and control the news first. We cannot let the sinking incident spread on a large scale domestically. Understood. Lin Shuqin. President Guan. Continue contacting the maritime authorities. Confirm the sinking location, cause, and personnel situation. Also ask clearly whether there is any possibility of salvage. Even if we can only rescue part of the cargo, it must be done. Yes. The two hurried away. The office became quiet again. Guan Jing collapsed back into her chair. More than 2 billion yuan. And it was borrowed money. This time, Tianhai Group had truly run into major trouble. And I knew nothing about it. I had already arrived at Huawan Shopping Center and walked straight into the watch boutique. After looking around, I selected a Vacheron Constantine with a starry blue dial. I'll take this one. Sir, the price of this model is. No need to introduce it. I handed over my bank card. Swipe the card. The system funds in my Luo City Bank card only had a little over 1 million yuan left, not enough to pay the full amount. I supplemented part of it from my Guajian bank account. Payment successful. The system prompt immediately sounded. Ding. System experience value has reached the upgrade requirement. Upgrading. I sat in the back row of the Bentley and closed my eyes. The progress bar on the system panel advanced rapidly. 1%, 20%, 50%, 100%. Ding. System successfully upgraded to level 4. Upgrade reward. 50 million yuan in cash. The Luo City Bank card received the funds soon after. I looked at the system panel. Prediction. Blessing. Skill. The 3 buttons had already lit up before. Now, the 4th function also lit up. Lottery. I was so excited I almost laughed out loud, but then I suddenly noticed a problem. Wait. After I upgraded to level 3, I didn't use prediction or blessing. Why haven't the usage count stacked? The system immediately answered. Because the return from the host's previous prediction content was too high and severely exceeded the normal profit range of the current level. The system rules have already been adjusted. From now on, unused function counts will no longer stack. The smile on my face instantly disappeared. Why didn't you say so earlier? The host did not ask. If I don't ask, you don't remind me? Yes. I nearly cursed on the spot. The system immediately warned. Please communicate civilly, host. I gritted my teeth. Fine. I'll endure it. When I opened my eyes, my expression had already darkened. When Fan Xiaoying saw this, she thought I had already learned about the company incident. Young master, are you all right? I'm fine. I rubbed my brow. I'm just a little tired. Sister Ying, what is it? She took out her phone. I just saw a news item related to Tianhai Group. But the news was deleted very quickly. I raised my head. What news? 2 ships carrying goods purchased overseas by Tianhai Group's trading company sank in the Indian Ocean. The value of the goods may exceed 2 billion yuan. And this batch of goods was very likely purchased through bank loans. If the news is true, Tianhai Group will suffer enormous losses. I leaned back in the seat, and Guanjing's face appeared in my mind. She hasn't contacted me. Fan Xiaoying looked at me. President Guan may still be handling it. Then let her handle it. My tone was very calm. She is Tianhai Group's general manager. If she can't even handle this kind of matter, she will naturally come to me. Are we going home? Home. I was indeed tired. Not only physically. The system swallowing 2 of my function opportunities for nothing hurt me even more. On the way, I checked the time. Nearly 3 in the afternoon. I quickly used stock market prediction, sent one of the stocks into the dormitory group chat, and then completed my own trade. What needed to be done could not be delayed. After returning home, I immediately searched for the sinking incident. The related domestic news had already been cleaned up very thoroughly. No news. No reports. Almost no discussion could be found. I could only connect to overseas networks and search foreign media information. Very soon, the details of the accident appeared. 2 cargo ships carrying Tianhai Group's imported goods encountered a strong storm in the Indian Ocean. After suffering severe hull damage, they sank. The goods included cosmetics, food, electronics, and luxury items. Several crew members were also missing and might have already died. I turned off my phone. The situation was even more serious than Sister Ing had said. If it were only cargo loss, there would still be ways to remedy it. But once it involved casualties, bank loans, and customer breach of contract, the impact would expand rapidly. Yet from the time the accident occurred until now, Guanjing had never contacted me. There were only two possibilities. First, she had the ability to solve it and did not need me to appear. Second, she did not truly regard me as the boss and wanted to hide it from me while handling it. If it was the first, I would not interfere. If it was the second, then it was overstepping her authority. I could tolerate her refusing to accept me. I could tolerate her doubting my ability. But I could not tolerate her risking my company while deliberately concealing a major accident. I held 79% of Tianhai Group's shares. If I sold them, the group's stock price would definitely suffer a heavy blow. Other shareholders might lose everything. But I had no cost basis. If it really came to that, it was obvious who would be more afraid. Meanwhile, in a villa on the outskirts of Luo City, Guanjing returned home with an exhausted body. An elderly man with graying hair immediately came forward. Jingjing, you're back? It's been almost a month since I last saw you. Let Dad have a look. Guanjing forced a smile. Dad, I'm fine. I'll cook today. What would you like to eat? As long as my daughter makes it, anything is fine. The food was soon served. The father and daughter had only taken a few bites when the old man suddenly spoke. Say it. What exactly happened at the company? Guanjing's chopsticks stopped in midair. Dad, what are you talking about? Still trying to hide it from me? Guan Maoshan put down his bowl. You didn't tell me when the group was acquired last time. Now that such a huge accident has happened at the trading company, you still won't say anything. Do you really think that after I retired, I know nothing? Guanjing's expression changed. Dad, tell the truth. Guan Maoshan stared at her. How much is the loss? Guanjing was silent for several seconds before finally speaking. Current estimate. Direct cargo loss of 2.2 billion yuan. This 2.2 billion all came from bank loans. The cash the group can mobilize is only about 900 million yuan. Far from enough. Moreover, once our partners know we cannot deliver on time, there will also be enormous penalties for breach of contract. Guan Maoshan's expression became grave. How long has it been since the accident? I received the news more than 7 hours ago. The actual accident happened 19 hours ago. Does the new boss know? Guanjing avoided his gaze. Not yet. Why haven't you told him? What use would telling him be? Guanjing's emotions suddenly erupted. From the time he acquired Tianhai until now, he hasn't even come to the company. What does he know besides having money? Enough. Guan Maoshan slammed the table heavily. Do you still think Tianhai Group belongs to the Guan family? Guanjing froze. Dad, your shares aren't even 1/10 of his. He is the true boss of the group. Guan Maoshan pointed at her, emotional. The company has suffered a major loss of more than 2 billion yuan, and you dare hide it from the absolute controlling shareholder? If you fail to handle it and cause the stock price to crash, bringing him enormous losses, he can absolutely pursue legal responsibility against you. At that time, it won't be as simple as losing the general manager position. You might go to prison. Guanjing bit her lip tightly. I just wanted to protect Tianhai. Tianhai was founded by you and several uncles with your own hands. I can't just watch it be destroyed. But what you're doing now is what might destroy Tianhai. Guan Maoshan stared at his daughter. Jing Xingqian was able to acquire 79% of the group's shares in one go. Have you thought about how much wealth he has? Have you thought about how powerful the forces behind him are? Didn't today's Tianwen residential complex incident make you understand? He spent over 600 million buying dangerous buildings that no one was optimistic about, and a few days later he obtained over 10 billion yuan in compensation. Would a person like that be the ignorant playboy you describe? Guanjing could not speak. Jingjing. Guan Maoshan's tone softened. It is not shameful to admit that someone else is stronger than you. What is truly dangerous is knowing your judgment was wrong and still refusing to put down your pride. Guanjing lowered her head. Dad, let's eat first. I'll find a way to get through this obstacle. Guan Maoshan looked at her and let out a long sigh. You had better contact Jing Xingqian as soon as possible. Don't wait until he asks you personally. By then, everything will be too late. Time continued until 10 at night. My phone was still completely quiet. No call from Guanjing. No message. No accident report either. Fine. I threw my phone aside. Since you won't come to me, I'll wait and see how you handle it. Compared with money now, I cared more about the function buttons lit up after upgrading. Prediction, blessing, skill, lottery. All 4 functions could be used once, and they could not be delayed anymore. If I upgraded again, any unused counts would all be wasted. I first pressed the prediction button. Ding! Prediction function activated. Result generating. A few seconds later, a piece of information appeared in my mind. On April 22nd, Hong Kong-listed Dainyu Technology will suffer a cliff-like plunge. The maximum expected decline will reach 93%. Please seize the opportunity, host. I suddenly sat up. 93%. A plunge itself was not frightening. Knowing about it in advance, however, turned it into an opportunity to get rich overnight. Short selling. Adding leverage. As long as I operated properly, my principal could multiply several times, even dozens of times, in an extremely short period. I glanced at the calendar. The 22nd was Thursday. As long as I went to Hong Kong in advance to open an account and contacted a brokerage to prepare for shorting, there was more than enough time. Sister Ing. Fan Xiaoying soon walked in. Young master, what are your instructions? Book me plane tickets to Hong Kong for the 20th. You, Tinjia, and the 3 Wong brothers will accompany me. Fan Tinjia was recording at the side and immediately asked, what is young master going to Hong Kong for? To short a stock. I don't have a Hong Kong stock account, so I need to go over in advance to handle it. Fan Xiaoying thought for a moment. Young master, I may be able to contact people in this field. I immediately looked at her. You know Hong Kong brokers? The family I previously served was mainly involved in financial investment. They have a branch in Hong Kong and also have long-term cooperative brokers and short-selling institutions. If young master needs it, I can contact them first. That made things much easier. Excellent. I want to use 20 times leverage. I paused. If conditions allow, 50 times is fine too. Fan Xiaoying's expression clearly became serious. 50 times leverage is extremely risky. As long as the stock price moves against you by 2%, your principal may be entirely wiped out. I know. I looked at her. But I'm confident about this stock. How much are you planning to invest? I haven't decided yet. I currently had close to 11 billion yuan in cash. Of course, I could not possibly put it all in. The higher the leverage, the greater the risk. Even knowing the outcome, I still had to guard against short-term volatility and forced liquidation during the trading process. Sister Ing, ask around first. I need to know what scale can be done, the highest leverage available, and the margin and forced liquidation rules. Understood. I'll give you an answer tomorrow. Sorry for the trouble. Young master is too polite. My mood improved greatly, and I returned directly to my room. Next was the skill button. I raised my hand and tapped it. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have obtained the divine level skill, aircraft piloting. Relevant knowledge, experience, and operational abilities are being loaded. A vast amount of information instantly rushed into my mind. Instruments, weather, routes, takeoff, landing, emergency handling. Every operation felt as if I had personally practiced it countless times, completely merging into instinct. At the same time, a blue certificate appeared out of thin air on the table. I picked it up and looked. Aircraft pilot license. It even comes with the certificate. The certificate procedures issued by the system are complete, authentic, and valid. I flipped through the license, and a thought suddenly emerged in my mind. Should I buy a plane? After thinking about it, I decided to forget it for now. A private jet was not just about buying one. It also required parking space, maintenance, crew members, and route applications. I could wait until I truly needed one in the future. I looked toward the blessing button. System, give me something strong this time. Activate blessing. The button lit up. Golden light directly poured into my body. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have obtained a divine level blessing. Never falling ill. My entire body instantly stiffened. What did you say? Never falling ill. From now on, the host will be immune from the invasion of diseases. I lowered my head and looked at my hands. Not even colds. No. What about cancer? No. Infectious diseases? Also no. My breathing grew faster and faster. Money could buy cars. It could buy houses. It could buy companies. But no matter how much money one had, it might not necessarily buy absolute health. And this time, the system had directly made me never fall ill. This was no ordinary reward. This was something all tycoons dreamed of but could never obtain. Really, naturally. I touched my chest. My heartbeat was powerful. My breathing was smooth. My body seemed to have been thoroughly cleansed, so light and comfortable it was hard to describe. I could not help collapsing onto the bed and laughing loudly. 11 billion. Photographic memory. Stock market prediction. Aircraft piloting. Never falling ill. And this was only a level 4 system. I stared at the final lit lottery button, my gaze growing hotter and hotter. System, prediction, skill, and blessing are all this powerful. What will this lottery give me? I quickly calculated in my mind. After buying cars, various items, and maintaining the team, the cash I could use was already less than 10 million. 3 first-row invitations required 36 million. I could not afford them right now. Of course, only right now. Once the demolition compensation arrived, or once the system upgraded again, what was 36 million? Sistering, there's no rush on this matter. I still don't know whether I'll have other arrangements in a few days. Fan Xiaoying nodded. That's fine, young master. Just reply to me before the 8th. I only learned later that while we were discussing the auction, Tianhai Group had also received 2 invitations. Xiaodan walked into Guan Jing's office with the invitations. President Guan, Haoqing Hotel is holding a large auction next week. All of Luo City's prominent figures will attend. The organizer gave Tianhai Group 2 seats. Guan Jing accepted the invitations and glanced at them casually. You'll come with me.